damage is not yet clear.
Sanibel is destruction. And this is, for those of you who haven't been, it's a beautiful place, really neat community, and it got hit with really biblical storm surge.
The causeway was washed away, and DeSantis said efforts to get people off Sanibel Island were ongoing, either by air or boat.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. It's not known yet how many people are missing in Florida or how many may have been killed statewide. High anxiety returns on Wall Street. The Dow down 455 points at the closing bell, sinking even lower during the session. But Congress is poised to avoid a government shutdown tomorrow night. The Senate passing a short-term spending bill with bipartisan support, sending it on to the House. A new bipartisan bill would punish countries that aid Russia's latest effort to claim more of Ukraine.
If you side with Putin to recognize his illegal annexation of parts of Ukraine, you will lose all support from the United States. We'll do everything in our power to marginalize you on the world stage.
Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham introducing that bill with Connecticut Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal. Russia plans annexation celebrations tomorrow in 4 occupied areas it says voted to join Russia. President Biden a short time ago.
The so-called referendum was a sham, an absolute sham. The results were manufactured in Moscow.
He says the U.S. will never recognize Russia's claims on Ukraine. America is listening to Fox News.
Attention contractors and future homeowners. Come and network with Guam's construction industry at the 2022 GCA Construction Industry Trade Fair and Expo, happening September 29th and 30th at the FD Phoenix Center in Manilao. Doors open from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. on both days, and admission is free. With over 50 exhibitors, your time will be well spent looking at new products and services, whether you're a contractor or future homeowner. For more information, contact GCA at 671-647-4840.
Oh, what's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
At least 6 Republican-led states are now part of a lawsuit challenging President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan.
Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge leads the challenge to the White House plan to forgive up to $20,000 in student debt. She says President Biden has crossed the line.
The Department of Education is required under the law to collect the balance due to these loans. President Biden does not have the authority to override that.
The president said in his August announcement that it fulfills a campaign promise. Rutledge claims the president is illegally invoking the HEROES Act, using the pandemic as a national emergency to justify financial relief, when in a recent interview, the president declared the pandemic over. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A struggling fitness company makes another deal aimed at reaching more customers.
Peloton Interactive will be selling its original bike and tread, as well as equipment and accessories, at more than 100 Dick's Sporting Goods stores and on its website. Its products are expected to be available in Dick's locations early in the holiday season, and deliveries will be fulfilled by Peloton's traditional in-home delivery and setup. The partnership comes as Peloton has been struggling to expand its customer base, which ballooned during the pandemic. However, Dick's isn't the only company to join forces with Peloton this year. In August, the fitness company struck a partnership with Amazon to sell its products.
Fox's Hillary Barsky recapping the latest plunge on Wall Street just a day after a sizable rally. Well, it could have been worse. The Dow's down 548 after the closing bell, but it had been down more than 600 points during the session, getting close to being down to 29,000. It finished at 29,225. Both the S&P and the NASDAQ dropping more than 2%. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Half a day. This is Claire Manglania from Security Title. A power of attorney can be a useful tool in a real estate transaction, but if abused, it can result in devastating loss. Choosing your representative should be done with the utmost care. and should be very specific about the powers being granted. To mitigate loss, the team at Security Title confirms with the owner prior to using a power of attorney to sell the property. Each transaction is unique. Let the professionals at Security Title use our experience to facilitate a secure closing. We are here to help.
Family is the bedrock of society. The Camacho Ada gubernatorial team believes that strong and stable families are crucial for strong and stable communities. Felix and Tony will provide better government resources for effective parenting, family engagement, and family caregiving for our seniors. They know what the breakdown of the family unit has done to our community and will promote measures designed to maintain and strengthen the family as the fundamental unit of society.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
It's back. Sunday, October 2nd, the Guam Army National Guard presents the GSPN EMAS Medgood Strongman Competition. Come to the Paseo grounds and find out who will be the 2022 Strongest Man and Strongest Woman. Can Big Gonzalez and Brittany Pareda defend their titles? Watch the Strongest on Island take on the Pacific Unlimited Outrigger Lift, the Pacific Tire CDD Tire Flip, ITNE's Pro Pull, the Michelob Ultra Keg Toss, and Paradise Fitness's Tombstone Walk. And you got to be there for the Triple J Truck Pull. Food and drinks will be on sale. All proceeds going to the Tasa Canoe Builders. The GSPN EMAS Medgood Competition, Sunday, October 2nd, starting at noon. Special thanks to the stations of choice broadcasting. That's Boss 104, Star 101, and The Point.
Off a day and good morning, Guam. It's 6:06 on Friday, September 30. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A decomposed body was found in Harmon yesterday afternoon. A video circulating on social media showed an individual apparently trapped under a vehicle. Men in the video described what was perceived to be a tire jack on its side under the vehicle. A man is heard saying that the jack may have given out. GPD was called to the scene at FW Corporation a little before 1 o'clock and met with a man who said he found a body in the jungle after following a trail that led to abandoned vehicles. Officers found the body near an abandoned vehicle. The identity of the individual is not known at this time. This is the second time in 3 weeks that police have investigated a decomposed body found in the jungle area. Earlier this month, a man's body was found off Kayan Chando, Dedido, near the old flea market. An initial investigation in that case found foul play could neither be established nor ruled out. Meanwhile, after being acquitted twice of sexual assault allegations, Suruhano and former Port Police Officer Frank Cosin Nicholas is getting his job back. The Port Board passed a resolution yesterday approving a settlement with San Nicholas in connection with his civil service case against the Port Authority, which terminated him in 2020. After he was found innocent twice, the Port Council moved to avoid costly litigation resulting from wrongful terminations. But Port General Manager Rory Respicio says San Nicholas was terminated based on the magistrate complaints and court orders prohibiting him from carrying a gun. San Nicholas is getting more than $156,000 in back pay. That's the amount that he would have been paid if the port never fired him. He's also getting all of his sick leave and annual leave hours reinstated, $40,000 in legal fees for the CSC appeal, and remittance to retirement benefits owed to him. Respicio says San Nicholas will return to work as if he never left. We'll have more news after this.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
Public health officials say disparities in healthcare may be one reason cancer overall is the second leading cause of death on Guam. Health educator for the Guam Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program, Rachel Ramirez, says breast cancer is the number one per incidence and number one for mortality among women on Guam. By gender, the incidence of cancer is slightly higher among men, accounting for 51%, while women make up 49% of cases. Ramirez adds that Micronesian patients have the highest incidence rate of breast cancer on Guam, followed by Caucasians, Chamorros, Filipinos, and other Asian ethnicities. Ramirez notes that the stage of cancer at the time of detection may shine a light on the correlation between disparities in access to health care and cancer mortality. Ramirez reported that Chamorro and Filipino residents had better access to health care, and that's why public health is taking its program into the villages to reach underserved communities. Tomorrow marks the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Public health emphasized getting mammograms for early detection as it's the best way to find breast cancer. And AG candidates were questioned by the Guam Bar Association during a forum held at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa yesterday. Incumbent AG Levin Camacho, former AG Doug Moylan, and write-in candidate attorney Peter Santos wasted no time taking aim at each other's track record. Moylan said he remains the toughest AG on Guam and that the last 4 years of Camacho's policies have not worked. In response, Camacho said that while Moylan was AG, Governor Felix Camacho declared a state of emergency at the AG's office when it lost half of its staff and started dismissing cases because of insufficient resources. Santos, being the newcomer in the race, said he should be written in as AG as to not have a repeat of Moylan's and Camacho's blunders. The big question was how they would address the ongoing spike in crime. Santos responded that he's the only candidate who has been in law enforcement and would make prosecution whole again. Santos Moylan said drugs are a key part of Guam's problem, and those involved need to face a judge. Camacho stated that he had a 90% conviction rate and over 400 pounds of meth were seized in the last few years. 39 days remain before the general election and 11 days until early voting. And those are your top stories on The Point. Now, here's Ray with your weather.
Oh, I don't know if I can go on here today. Two things. I was busy working with the members of the criminal justice system over at the court with jury panel J. And then while all of that was happening, word got to me that Coolio has passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
59 years old.
59, yeah, and died in Los Angeles. The guy that did Gangsta's Paradise. You remember that? I think that song
going on in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But we don't know what's cooking.
We're loosely based on life. Where is that? The Fern Terrace, Symbol Garden, something like that. Gangsta Paradise.
Back there.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can go on today. Yeah, I'll try. I'll see if I can muscle my way through this. Anyway, can I show you something interesting? I just got this from the Bean Man, Dennis Larson, and obviously it's some kind of it's a landscape picture here. I recognize the clouds in the sky as ours, but I can't quite make out what kind of tree that is. Real Joe, can you want to take a stab at that?
It looks like tomatoes, Ray.
Tomato plant.
Yes, tomatoes.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
Is it me or does it look sticky around top of that thing?
It looks icky.
Icky, sticky. Okay.
Icky.
Look at a little bit of
beautiful,
I don't know.
man.
It's got some kind of I'm almost smell maple syrup.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And a little bit of freedom.
Pancakes, ladies. It's 6:12 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Here it comes, the weather. Mostly sunny today. Highs near 87 degrees as I was walking to the truck this morning. I always take a look up into the sky and did not see a cloud up there at all. Beautiful stars and the moon and everything, but it occurred to me as I'm looking at that going, going to be another hot one today. And they say with a heat index up around 92 degrees. Daytime highs 87, mostly sunny on a Friday. How are you going to stay in the office? Scattered showers and thunderstorms could be moving in tonight, according to the National Weather Service. They're predicting mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, partly sunny, highs near 86. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy in the forecast as well. But that's okay. Most of you are going to be indoors for celebrations for Oktoberfest. On Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Hopefully that moves off because they got that big deal down in Petey. We'll talk to Mayor Allig about that a little bit later on. Sunday night, mostly cloudy and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Sunrise this morning was about 4 minutes ago, and sunset tonight is going to be at 6:12. Yeah, it's getting into the weekend a little bit earlier. The sun's going to be going down, cooling off about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So by all means, take advantage of that. News and Weather Together is brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the Pacific for 68 years.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. Get 100 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome perks like discounts on Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Oh, but Larry Gibson Show being brought to you by the guys over at APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters.
You go
Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Friday,
I know, no frowning. It's not like it's not like
a
a
happy
serious.
rant?
It's not like a serious. Oh my God! I can't believe Joe Biden's still the president kind of rant. It's the kind of rant where you go, wow. You know, I was finishing up a sandwich with my daughter over at sandwich. It was a hamburger sandwich over at Stacks yesterday with my daughter. Really enjoyed it. It was great. Had some shoestring potatoes and the OG sauce and the Dilios and the oh, so good. But anyway, wrapping things up over there, and my phone goes off, and it's an invitation to go and hang out with our bro Ismael Velez and the boys. And I'm going, well, that's great. And you know what? He wanted to give me, I forgot it at the house, but he gave me a coin, one of those challenge coins from SEAL Team 7.
No.
Yes.
What does this mean, Ray?
Well, you know, it means I'm honorary, bro.
Oh.
That means that I'm part of a very special and elite.
Take me out with a piece of paper?
Well, you know, actually, the thing, because it's SEALs, right? Real Man Navy. It's got a little bottle opener on it.
Oh, wow.
These guys think of everything. You could win a war with a bottle opener in the right place. So I got that, and we were over at Carabao for a little bit, and then it occurred to me, I was thinking, hey, I wonder where everybody else is. And as it turns out, there was apparently some serious Thirsty Thursday stuff going down. This has all of the looks like one of those good time fundraisers, primarily because Outrageous is there.
Hey, Biba.
And look at pretty Sarita Garin, not winking. Okay, well, maybe in this picture. Hey, not winking in that one, and it was who's this? Is this a cavalcade? I don't know. It's a cavalcade of beauties, and I'm sitting there going, "Look at me! I'm hanging out with my stinky friend Ismael."
Where's that place? It's
and
so
the girls, I think it's a good time down in you know where that is over by where I get my hair cut.
Oh, that's where you get your hair.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's the rant. Is wow. Thanks for the phone call, ladies. Did you all of a sudden forget my number?
TFTI.
Wow, I know. And so okay, and I'll tell you why. This is the point of the rant here. My name is Ray. I'm 60 years old. You know, you think I'd be the most confident guy in the world, but it's not true. I have the deepest. You know how some people talk about FOMO, fear of missing out. With me, it's not. It goes beyond just a fear of missing out. You know, just one of those things.
Missing out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's.
You outlived Coolio, man.
I did outlive. We outlived Coolio. That's the way we can look at it. I don't know. Are people really getting emotional about that? Are people waking up going, "I'm just going back to bed"? I can't do a day without Coolio in my life. We're gonna put the Coolio tribute to play on all of the gangster rap stations from back in the day. It was 6:19 in the morning. I suppose I'll get over it when I go through the table of contents and stuff like that with folks that are hanging out with us. A lot of pictures coming in this morning. Oh, do you remember the assignment from yesterday, guys? Okay, get to work on that now. Get to work on it now.
That warm bath.
I want to sit in a warm bath of nostalgia. What I'm wanting you to do, and Jeff Pleadwell's up this morning. He's got some pictures that are coming in from sunrise over at Pirates Cove. But here's what I want you to do is go wherever it is that you keep the family memorabilia and things like that. There might be an old PDN from back in the day, or an old copy of before it was the PDN. It was the Guam Daily News. Maybe you've got an old copy of the Guam Daily News. Maybe you've got the old magazines, glimpses of Guam, stuff like that.
Microfilm.
Microfilm.
Microfilm from the library.
An actual paper picture, a photograph that was actually taken, and they did it the old way. But I want you to scan a copy of that. Use the camera on your phone and then send it to 797-8255. 797-8255. The reason why is because yesterday somebody sent me a picture of an old Ada's Market ad. Before, there used to be a whole lot more competition in the field of big supermarkets here on Guam. We had J&G and we had Ada's. And the two of them would go over to Ralph's Little Market. You remember Ralph's Little Market?
No.
My Uncle Ralph always he's holding to me.
I remember Pedro's.
Get a big discount here because he was holding it with his bare hands. Yeah, on Pedro's down the street from Grandma's house. And so what I want is I want you to go and find a whole bunch of these old pictures or whatever. Send them to 797-8255. We'll take a look at it. If you got old prices for like cars and food and clothes, definitely want to see stuff like that. And maybe old pictures of you would be cool. The old black and whites. You know what I'm thinking here, Pam Duval.
Yeah.
Skiing pictures of Pam Duval.
Water skiing.
Thank you. And we end the show there. Okay, we're done. We got exactly what we were looking for. 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning. That guy over there, that's Real Joe. He gets the phone when you call at 888-8255. 888-TALK is the telephone number. 797-8255 is the meme machine. And as I said, if you've got some stuff that you want to share with us, cool memes, and a bunch of them are coming in. I'm digging some of the pictures that we got from up in Jigo. Cousin Ted Nelson taking some pictures up there of what sunrise looked like over at his place. Don't know if he was using any kind of special filter, but they're good shots, Ted. Glad to have you part of the family. Otherwise, Donna D's going to take care of news and big headlines, et cetera, et cetera. I have... so this is me preventing you from sending it to me. I've got the video of that guy. What a horrible way to die. From all indications, looks like he might have been doing some forging for parts for his car.
Maybe catalytics.
I found something in the boondocks, and apparently the jack went out from under the car and pinned him down fatally, and I cannot imagine a worse way to go off the top of my head, and then not to be found for a long time. The folks, did anybody go out looking for him? Did he have family? Did he have friends? Are there people that are going, oh, that's what happened?
Missing persons report, maybe?
Not hearing a whole lot about that. Not getting any information from the police department. I'm told that Officer Sevilla will have some other reports today, up to and including this was making a big deal on, what do you call it? We were making a big deal about this in the village chat overnight, the MTM village chat. And apparently there was a shooting last night.
Yeah.
I've got video of that, not of the actual shooting, but of our guy rolling around the apartments or wherever it was where the shooting took place. Absolutely no information seems to be coming out with from the guys over at the police department. Again, Officer Sevilla and the folks over at the public affairs should have something before the end of the day. Doesn't necessarily help me in a morning show, but at least we know that the information is going to be coming out. While I'm thinking about it, while a thought is in my head. Anyways, remember that video of that guy from Florida trying to get away from Hurricane Ian, came to Guam to give the cops a hard time? So
the auditor.
Johnny Utah calls in and gives me one of those things like, well, you got to give the benefit of the doubt. You're going to have to give the guy the benefit of the doubt here because, it's the First Amendment. And, think about guys like Canley and Guerrero getting arrested for showing up over at the Hyatt last week.
And he mooned everybody there.
Yeah, mooned everybody. I don't know whose civil rights were being violated. Is it his for being arrested at that thing or everybody else for saying, whoa, easy. What's that?
Yeah.
So out of an abundance of a benefit of the doubt, I went and watched the thing again, the whole thing. And number one, I'm going to say it again, this guy needs a producer. It's not hard. You can go. It's
hurting you.
There's
audio.
Get these long stretches of just kind of, here's the cars. Oh my, look at that. And so I'm going, oh, come on, faster, funnier. And it wasn't working out. And then he finally, he talks to the guy, and the guy's, basically saying, he was really taken aback by the idea that he might be searched. And I'm going, look, you crazy guy, you're walking walking around the police station with a camera, you walk in the door, and you start asking questions, yeah, I'd say I'm not sure what level of mental balance you were in. And I'm going, this guy's lucky he didn't get tased. And the supreme patience of the lady police officer that was eventually talking him
that
down.
was Sergeant, I think.
Sarge, Sarge.
Yeah.
I didn't get her.
They work for him, Ray. Remember that.
Yes, apparently is the way that works. I don't know. I was delighted to go back and forth. Bistra says the audio is funky. I'm not sure why. I don't think I have any funky audio here working this morning. I've reset everything to the best of my ability. You know what? You might also be able to find us on the actual radio. 93. We broadcast
nostalgia.
Tower transmitter, all of that stuff. 93.3 on your FM dial. You might also want to try the YouTube side if you're getting jittery on Facebook or ThePOINT.gu. And if the problem persists over there, it might be one of those things where maybe I do got to reset something. Ken LG says the audio is great. Use your simple radio. It's a FM band radio to be able to hear what's going on in the program. Anyway, 6:25 in the morning. There are a whole bunch of folks all over the media. And let me go ahead and by way of getting things going on last Friday of September, say good morning to them.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles all along the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people all along the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
626. It is beautiful. Yeah, I'm hearing the same problem on my Facebook side. So work on it, tolerate it as best you can. See what's happening on the YouTube side. See if maybe anybody is complaining about the same thing over there. The online stream seems to be working. Yeah. Ken LG says audio seems to be breaking up here too. I hate the idea of having to restart everything in the middle once we've already started the stream, because I always forget to put the YouTube thing back on. So maybe at the top of the hour, just FYI, if you could muscle your way through this now, that'd be awesome. Okay, let's see who's playing around on the Facebook gizmo here. I see, hold on, I got to scroll all the way up. Huge crowd. Nate Horn is there. I got Colin Clark, the incredible Brad Wood. Rudy Rodolfo saying good morning to everybody. John Ray Titano, Biba Betness, Tommy Bernardo, Buenos and Alpha Day to Bob and Connie, Marconico Go Seniors. There's Pretty Sarita Garin saying Happy Feet Friday. Henry Manglonia, Nate Horn, and Dan Russell. I get the Vince Delgado there, Colin Clark saying, well, hello there. Brennan Fosto and Donna D is online. Isn't that nice? She's there. She's here. Anna Marie is there. Joanne Titano, Henry Magloria checking in. So is Cameron Mendiola, Bibas and Hafade to Joanne Titano. Last summer, date for September of 2022, we made it, said Sarita. Hey, what do we got here? Is it new fiscal year?
Yeah.
Happy new fiscal year. Yeah, I wonder what we're going to run out of tomorrow in the government of Guam. Dale Audit is there. Manny and Ning Regis, Richard Leon, and Dean Bates. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you and the missus last Friday. Hopefully we get a chance to hang out again this weekend. One of my favorite artists, Ron Castro, online. So is Jose Tepahagu, Mark and Francis Ishmael, the hot sister of the program. That's Pam Duvall saying good morning to all of the beautiful people. Well, it takes one to know one, right? Anthony Bennett, Lujan Duenas, and Carl Meyer checking in. I'm not sure where he is. Where did Carl say he was last time? Sacramento?
Yeah.
And trying to take over the state government of California? Was it Westy? I don't know. I can't remember.
It's on the Heridote.
Somewhere. Sheila Morgan, good morning, and nice to have you along. Joe D's on. Buenos Zen Holiday to Anthony Perez and Alan Baldwin. Carl Meyer, there it is. Greetings from the Golden State. Oh, my God, Golden State. Where's this?
Oh, no.
No. Hold on.
Is that a good thing these days, Ray?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if I printed it out. So there's a big operation going to be taking place, a military operation at Anderson Air Force Base, and it's called the Golden Bee. Golden Bee.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Change the B to a P. Did nobody in high command took a look at that? I mean, you guys are going to be the laughing stock of all of the air forces on the planet. Hey, they're doing an exercise on it's called Golden P. I mean Golden Bee. Oops. Oh, man. You got to have guys look at things like that before you decide on what it is exactly that we're going to be calling this operation. Peter Sutton says, if you can't join them, beat them. Absolutely. Heather Paris is online. I got Mark Duenas, Marla Carbolito Castro, Vincent Pangolinan again. Jose Capago, 3 men enter 1. Shall be victorious in Guam's AG 3-way ladder. Loser must leave town. The losers must leave town. That would make it that much more exciting. Sound seems off today. Thanks, Ken. Richard Leon, where's the current band of campaigners? The Guam public wants to challenge you. Show your character. Tim Zedeker's there. MP Ogo. Who else is there? Janine Bloss. Hi, Janine. Been a while.
Hi, good morning.
Vince Mesa is on. So is Charles Craw. Dave Duenas. B. Ba. And Wadina Machi. Tim Lohan. Mark Voigtland. Buenos and Hoffaday. Tommy. No, I already did Tommy. Brandon has ruined our economy, our 401ks, and our hopes and our dreams. But give him credit. He's one step closer to ensuring all Americans learn a new language, Chinese. Hey, look, Jay Rojas is hanging out with us this morning. All right, 6:30 in the morning. Also got to do shouts to Tattoo Shauna. We're going to be hanging out early next week. I've got one of those consultations with her so that we can talk about the location for my father-daughter tattoo.
Full body tattoo.
Yeah. Might we get birthday coming up here. What's that?
Yakuza style.
Yakuza style, definitely.
Neck to toes.
Simon Sanchez online. So is Dennis Mesman. Who else? Jeff Pleadwell is online. I want to say that Sarita Garinda was complimenting me about my shirt and actually sent that wink I've been asking about for the last couple of days. Yeah. Marie Babauta Baldwin is there. So is Anthony Quintanilla. Lena McDaniel say fry. Yay, no frowny faces. Absolutely. Johnny Atula Taitano on. Let's go fishing, brother. Who else is there? Mark Anthony. And looking to see if I've hit just about all the names here. Army Lynn is online. Post Canteen. And a reminder, the jackpot, the what do you call it? Bingo, mega, whatever game.
Yeah,
$30 million. Oh. For next Tuesday. Now, how are you going to buy a truckload of tickets for the $30 million prize? What you want to do is be at the VFW on Friday night. So you go to the VFW on Friday night, win the Queen of Hearts, and it's almost $2,000. Then you go to Payless and buy $2,000 worth of jackpot tickets for Tuesday, and maybe you got a shot at winning $30 million.
Follow Ray for more financial advice.
I just want to make all of your dreams come true, guys. 6:32 in the morning. Francis Duffy is online. There's the former AG. Doug Moylan is with us as well. Now, I don't want to issue the challenge early, but in the event that Doug Moylan is reelected Attorney General for the territory of Guam, I think it would be safe to say he should have his own theme song. Now, in years past,
okay, we'll see what happens.
We did in years past have a theme for him, and it was the chicken dance song that you do at weddings. But we'd have to find a way to kind of macho it up because it's got to go with that sound effect. It's got to, Eric the Eagle and the chicken dance song and Doug Moylan. And now people all over the island saying, I was looking for a reason to vote for Doug, and now I think I got it. Ben Servino is there. Nate Horn, Peter Santos sounds like cooking popcorn. Yeah, I might reset the audio driver here. It's something I can do fairly quick, but I hope it doesn't mess with anything else. All right, everybody else complaining about the audio. Like I said, go to the actual radio. Looks like it's also happening on the YouTube side because they're all connected like that. And the stream. You can download the stream on the app. The app is working real good. Keenan McCausland, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez.
Bring back the sunshine. Bring back that sunshine. He's bringing back that sunshine. Carl Gutierrez brings it every time.
Layla Eulalia is the name I'm looking at. I hope I pronounced that right. All right, Doug Moylan actually making his request here. His Star Trek Wrath of Khan theme song is what he's going for. I don't know that I remember exactly what that sounds like, but if that's
who started that?
The
Montalban or
yeah, Ricardo Montalban.
Oh yeah.
from the decibel. I spit my last breath, or something along those lines. This is a great piece. Great piece. Anyway, 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number again, 797-8255 if you've already started with your morning assignment to go and find some really, really cool memorabilia from back in the day, and then send that up to the radio station. Okay. Well, you know what? This is not one of those memorabilia back in the day things, but Brian sent this to me. There's a Veterans Day raffle that is going to be taking place soon, and you can, for $10 a ticket, get yourself an opportunity to get a gun.
Oh, nice.
This is the scare
not just any gun.
Not just any gun. This is to scare the crap out of liberals that don't know jack about guns. That's that kind of gun. Look at it. It's got the Vietnam era handle up on the top of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that whole kind of menacing look that everybody freaks out about because they've never been in a gun safety course and there's snowflakes and just boom, it scared me. It was so loud. And the smell of the gunpowder burning, it was so, I don't know, it's just violent in my nose. Oh my God. You know, when a bright flash comes, you can be looking for guys that have that kind of thing. It's 6:35 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. All right, time to tell you what, we'll take a quick news break here with Donna D, and I'll see if there's, what's that? Enter Sandman? Who? What? Mariano Rivera's entrance song, Enter the Sandman, Metallica closer with the Yankees. Maybe they should have done that yesterday at the debate, right? Just have these guys come in with their theme songs.
Yeah. And their weights and their heights.
Peter Santos, the Empire theme. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doug. I'm trying to help you by running against you, Doug. It's 6:35 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show with news and headlines. Now, here's Donnie. What happened there?
36-year-old Vandrick Francis Gumaban was charged with multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct after admitting to molesting a child. A woman told police that a 14-year-old girl known to her was being sexually assaulted. When interviewed by police, Gumaban admitted that he had the girl perform sexual acts when she was 8 or 9 years old. And Guam was in no immediate threat after North Korea apparently fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles toward its eastern waters on Wednesday, a day before U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris was to visit South Korea. Acting Homeland Security Advisor Major General Esther Agigi says to use September as National Preparedness Month to have discussions with your families about how you can prepare for all hazards. And the industry trade fair and expo hosted by the Guam Contractors Association started yesterday. Over 50 exhibitors came out for the 2-day event to showcase the island's construction and trades industry and how it's vital in Guam's growth. The expo continues today from 9 to 3 at the FD Phoenix Center in Manila. And those are your local headlines on the point. Now back to Ray.
All right, thanks very much. Remind me, we got to get to the celebrity birthdays a little bit earlier today, and I'll tell you why tomorrow. One maybe of my favorite actresses of all time is going to be celebrating her 87th birthday. Tomorrow is the birthday of Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews is in The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music. I know she was in other movies. I know she's performed in.
You had a crush? Did you have a crush, Ray?
This is the one.
Yeah.
The one. I want to go there.
What's her name? Liesel?
Yeah, Liesel,
Hansel, Gretel,
Charmaine. Yeah.
I don't know.
The one that
the eldest daughter.
Yeah, the one that had that thing at the end of the movie with that little German guy that was gonna shoot everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him. Yeah, that one. But anyway, so a great movie, and the people of a certain age, mine.
And mine.
Yeah. Know every word to every song.
And every line.
And every line from the What Do You Do with a Girl Like Maria? When we were kids, and I told this story before, but what the heck? It's Friday. I'll tell it again. The nuns. I don't know why, but the guys that ran the movie theaters, Conross, ask Jay Rojas. He knows what the history of that is. But those guys would bring in, on a recurring basis, the Sound of Music to play in the theaters. You know, like what they're doing now with Avatar.
Yeah,
they did that back in the day.
Can they still keep doing this?
Oh, I'm sure
they need to do this.
I'm sure
I would go there, even though I have the DVD and I bought it on, streaming the digital download.
I get it. You know why? People, we need to get everybody on Guam has to see this movie. You ought to make it. You can't get food stamps anymore, or you can't drive on the road unless you can show that you have been, because
this from scene 1, act whatever.
This will reset the morality loop that we are in. right? You know, you get all these guys, the thuggy ice guys and all of that stuff, and, you know, dudes that they're ripping everybody off and shooting at each other and mumbo to mighty, too close to my house. You know, we just need to, everybody sit down and watch The Sound of Music, and that will get you right with God. That will get you right with God, and, you know, get you back into that sense of family. And this is what happens when we're under pressure. And every family should have as many theme songs as in fact, like the old guy in the movie, the dad in the movie.
Yeah.
Remember Edelweiss?
Yeah.
Edelweiss. I'm saying that out loud, and I'm aiming it at Frank Boss Jr. And I can't tell you. He literally will kill me if I tell you. But anyway. What I'm thinking about, what's on my mind. Happy 87th birthday to one of the finest actresses and singers of our lifetimes, and that would be Julie Andrews at 6:39. I'll be right back.
Guam employees and retirees choose Take Care. Choose network providers including GRMC, GMH, SDA, GRC, AMC, and exclusive access to FHP. Choose lower copays at in-network providers. Choose fitness partners including PFC. Choose a payroll deduction as low as $2.04 bi-weekly. Open enrollment is September 13th to the 26th. For more information, go to takecareasia.com or call 671-647-3526. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Shop and Win is back at Micro Mall. Beginning August 6th, shop and redeem receipts for a chance to win instant prizes from Burger King or Foot Locker, or receive a grand prize entry form for first raffle drawing on November 12th for your chance to win a 2022 Toyota Corolla LE, courtesy of Atkins Toyota. Plus, 10 lucky runners-up will receive a $250 gift certificate from Goodwood Travel and Tour for tickets for Philippine Airlines. Shop more, win more. Only at Micronesia Mall. Terms and conditions apply.
Portions of the program are brought to you by Ron and Kim over at Security Title. Guarantee they know all of the words to every song in The Sound of Music as well. In fact, it would not surprise me if they had at their place one of those, like, I don't want to call it a man cave because, you know, Kim lives there too, but, you know, like just a place where they can go in there, big 85-inch television set with the speakers, the surround sound speakers, you know, and those little, like, massage chairs for everybody. That's the way you got to put that together. And we just all sit and listen to The Sound of Music over at Ron and Kim's place. Well, they've got people at the office going through your title and your deeds to make sure any real estate transaction that you are in goes by flawlessly. And now I want to do a traffic report from the hills of Guam and see what's happening there. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up on your screen so you know what I'm talking about here. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Put this over here where it says we're going to look at traffic. No, I don't want that picture. That's going to have to do. All right, so don't see a whole lot happening in the north end of town. Smooth sailing just about everywhere. Looks like folks were up late doing campaigning and hanging out with Sarita and Sandra and the other hot chicks over at Good Time. And so I expect everybody's going to have kind of a late start. Watch out for some traffic over by Ukadu. 1-3 is okay. Traffic starting to build at 8-10 and 16 on the Wendy side and on the fire station side. So you might see traffic going in both directions over at that intersection right now. But everything else looks fine, including traffic down at Big Navy in Suma. I don't like this cartoon character. Let me put there. That's what I'm looking at. And there is the hills of Guam. You can see him in the center. Yeah, and who's the guy? We'll get that old video. Fred Nelson doing his Hills Are Alive in the Sound of Music dance on Hills. Sorry, it's a radio promo reference that goes back about 30 years. 6:42 at the Ray Gibson Show. I'll be right back.
Subway's Eat Fresh, Refresh chicken choices have so much. How are we going to fit them all in one commercial?
Subway's new Baja chicken and bacon is loaded with hand-pulled rotisserie style chicken, hickory smoked bacon, sprinkled with spicy buttery pepper jack cheese, and drizzled with Subway's Baja chipotle sauce. Man, this makes me hangry.
And get this, Subway's chicken bacon ranch is stuffed with melted Monterey cheddar cheese, tender all white meat chicken on your choice of fresh hand-sliced veggies and freshly baked bread. You pick the tagline.
At Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Yes. 6:43 in the morning. Rick Gibson Show brought to you by the guys over at Nissan. That's short for NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. When was the last time you looked at a Nissan? Well, pass by today and take a look at the Versa. 35 miles to the gallon. I know what you're thinking, though, but gas only $4.89. Yes, now it's only $4.89. Remember what happened yesterday with West Texas crude, and now there are continuing concerns about what's going to be happening with inflation. Be prepared with a vehicle that not only looks great, is safe, but also gets 35 miles to the gallon. 2.9% APR on your good credit, or up to $1,000 in more gasoline, free gasoline from NissanGuam.com.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
I was talking about Ismail saying, okay, gave me that SEAL Team 7 deal, and I said I forgot it at the house. He says, well, I'll send you a picture of it. Okay, I'll put the picture up on the screen, but here's the thing, just FYI, when you see the picture on the screen, that's his hand, not mine. And the reason why I want to make that very, very clear is his hand has a wedding ring on it. SEAL Team 7, there it is. So he gave me one of those. And
Wow,
you can see
that's
down around the
nice.
bottom, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? SEAL Team 7 challenge coin. That is kind of cool, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that got a frog on the top because they're frog men, and we got the rest of the motif in the form of a 7, and you can make out around the bottom of it that bottle opener I was telling you about.
Yeah,
that is some
that,
sweet.
man.
Love that sweet technology. You can win a war with
so
a bottle
lucky.
opener. But like I said, his hand, his wedding ring, not mine. Let's not get confused about this. Okay, let me just for clarity. Look, both hands up on the screen, and no jewelry. I'm a jewelry-free kind of guy. It's 6:45 on the Ray Gibson Show. And what of the many things that we've got in the table of contents can we get through? Did you blow those guys off? I don't want to do any major phone calls.
Yeah.
I know Peter and Doug really want to get on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you said.
I
Right?
pushed it on.
Did you want them to get them on at the same time?
I tried to.
All right, so
I mean, you know.
I did not. I was not able to watch the thing live yesterday on Candid, and I've only just this morning got the link for it. So it'll probably end up being not until after today's program that I get some time to sit down and listen to it and see if there's any of those parts here. I'm like to think of myself as one of those kind of mature, kind of sober individuals when we get into debates. But really, aren't we all looking for a train wreck of one kind or another? When we get into these debate situations, you want somebody almost to raise their voice and do one of those mic drop gotcha moments, and just take whatever the candidate, the opposing candidate or candidates are. You just want to hear, in a very, very aggressive way, their opponent rubbing their face in the carpet one way or the other. And that's what I would be looking for. And I'm sure that there are a couple of points in the video where, it might come up and might get that feeling like, this could escalate from a war of words to an actual get-out. I mean, just don't make me go over there. You know what? These podiums, they only look like they're far apart on TV, but they're actually really, really close. Don't make me come over there and show you what life in my village
me back,
is like. I was raised in a tin shack, bro. I had to fight my siblings for food. And the dog, too. It's one of those kind of things, right?
Reminds me of a commercial I saw.
Right. 6:47 in the morning. Rick Gibson Show. Thanks very much again for tuning in. I will, at the top of the hour, press a button on something. And if everything goes well, it will reset the driver on the audio capture device. And then after that, we should be okay. If it doesn't go well, I'll press the button, and all of the feeds everywhere except the radio and the stream will drop. Be prepared for one or the other. Don't get too far away from anything. As the man says, you might be able to catch a really, really clean feed on 93.3 FM or the stream that plays on, where is that? The 93.3 streaming app that you can download today from the place. Always keep that handy. I'm thinking about Florida right now. Big Berry Mead. who
he's
was
out
here
there.
for a little bit, but I think he's in Florida. Well, Macris is in Florida.
Yeah.
So I want to find out
our
how
buddy
he's doing.
DeSantis is out there, too.
DeSantis will be fine. We got Ismail. I didn't realize this, but his mother and sister live out there. Now, I checked with him this morning, and Abuela and Sis are okay. I won't tell you anything else. I'll leave that to Ismail to put up on the stream. But they're in good shape. Everybody is safe, and that's good to hear. Even though there's destruction just all over the place. 6:48 in the morning. Can you imagine? And many of you can, because we've been here in times past, where here comes the storm around sunset, and then all of a sudden you've got one of these nighttime strikes. I don't like nighttime typhoon strikes here on Guam because you can't see what's going on any further than about 10 feet from your window, and the one piece of glass that you didn't cover up, so you could observe what's happening in the neighborhood. I don't like that. You got to wait until sunrise before you can really start to take a toll on what in your property has blown out and what from your neighbor's house has blown onto your property. It's always my favorite part.
Carnage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that kind of thing. So the deal is, Freedom app is good, says Ismail. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Not sure what the Freedom app is. Are we on that?
We're on it, man.
Okay.
Freedom.
Wonderful. At any rate, so I'm glad to hear that for the most part, everybody that I know that I've been in touch with in Florida is okay right now. But a whole hell of a lot of rebuilding that they have to do. And the good news is that Joe Biden says, "Don't worry, we'll be with you every step of the day." The way I'm sure there's a declaration of an emergency there. Will it go 30 months like ours? No, I don't know. 6:50, and I'll share this with you because this is exactly what we are looking for here, guys. We got the public health emergency has been extended. There's going to be a vote today over at the legislature on whether or not to override the governor's veto of Bill 11. This is not a rerun. This is not an old show being rebroadcast. This is what's happening on the 30th of September of 2022. So they're going to get together, and there's the possibility. What we're looking for here with Bill 11 is the notion that, after a certain amount of time, it's incumbent upon the entire government of Guam to work together. Not just the executive branch, not just public health, but everybody got to get together on this. And the governor, any governor, not just Lou, should need to go to the legislature, the other branch of government, and say, this is why we are still in a public health emergency. But they haven't, as far as the Antelope is concerned. You get the legislature, and they're just kind of a nuisance. But I give him some credit. The acting governor, who would be Josh Tenorio, sent a letter to the legislature. I am writing regarding the legislature's, actually to the speaker, right? Regarding the legislature's consideration of an override of Bill 1136 in its current session, though it may seem opportune at this time to end the public health emergency due to the low community risk level and the absence of community level restrictions, on behalf of myself and Governor Leon Guerrero, I must urge the legislature to decline to do so. And then does what the legislature is asking for. He goes through, and in about a page and a half or 2 pages, talks about why we are still in a public health emergency. Activation of the Guam National Guard. There are still apparently some of those guys that are doing some COVID-related work. Licensure of healthcare professionals, liability waivers for healthcare providers, COVID-19 response differential pay, which affects close to 1,200 employees in the government of Guam, frontliners. I mean, the real deal, whatever, that are out there doing their thing, firefighters and cops and public health officials and that kind of thing. And emergency supplemental nutrition assistance program, additional about $2 million worth of additional SNAP money. And I'm going, you're just putting that in the letter here to let the legislature know why we are in a public health emergency. You're doing exactly what the legislature wants. Look, we're not saying you can't have a public health emergency. We believe that there's probably far too much manipulation of sole source contracts under emergency procurement procedures, other parts of open government law that may be not getting the attention that they deserve. But in other cases, just come to the legislature and explain why we're still in a public health emergency. And Josh just gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons why we're still in a public health emergency. And if I was a speaker, I'd say, thank you very much. But we also have to have the ability of the legislature to be able to say, yeah, all of those things, yeah, pretty interesting, but not good enough. Get us out from under this. Yes, it's important that we've got people that are getting more money off the SNAP, but is that going to last forever? For heaven's sakes, we need to get them off of the SNAP and into the job. Go and work now. It's time. As we've got 30 months into the public health emergency, it is time, kids, for everybody to go back to work. So kudos to the legislature for getting the attention of the governor and acting governor and getting the reasons why we are still in a public health emergency. Now you get to decide whether that's good enough. You guys over at the legislature, you guys get to decide whether that is sufficient to keep things going the way they are, or to say, no, we're going to override the veto on 11 and just get back to work on this. Frankly, I'm surprised there was any kind of response from the governor's office at any rate, but also comes along with a letter that came out from the GOP. That's God's own party, Guam's own party. Magai, and those guys are supporting the override of veto 11. Brave and courageous Republicans, suggesting and backing up the idea of an override of the veto. Good luck, guys. It's you can have all of the Republicans saying, "Yep, that's it, override the bill." But what is it? There's only 5 of them, right? You need to get at least another 5 from the Democrats, and that might be a little tricky. I don't know if anybody's done a nose count recently, and it's going to be, trust me, when it comes, you remember, what's that thing that Bob Klitsky hates, where everybody passes? Just kind of to see which way the wind is blowing here. Watch when it comes to the override of Bill 11 when that happens, to see how many other people are going to be bird dogging and kind of goosenecking to see how the votes are coming along. 6:55 on the Ray Gibson Show. And also, this is interesting with the speed with which this has happened. It was just, 3-4 weeks ago, we started getting word from public health that you couldn't have cannabis-infused CBD, gizmos, and gummies. And, all of those things that people like with their. So they came up with a piece of legislation, had a public hearing, and apparently it's been through committee already. And so today, I believe, they're going to be voting on 333. Now, we talked with Clint Rigel about this last time, and talked to some of the players in the game, and they all seem to think that this is going to be okay. Yeah, this works. This will make it so we can, live happily, and everybody can get their CBDs and their THCs the way they want to, as provided by the law that is going to be changing here. So keep an eye on that and see where all of that ends up. A couple of things that I'm not going to do the full-blown celebrity birthday and special events thing, but this one here has a shelf life. At 5:56 in the morning, a special event for today. Donna D, it's Hug a Vegetarian Day. So when Jerry Roberts comes in, thanks very much. Those are the instructions. But it's also Bakery Day. It's also Bakery Day. And our bakery here, our family-associated bakery, is American Bakery. So this is what I want you to do for breakfast this morning. Swing by American Bakery or someplace where American Bakery products are sold, and get yourself one of those trays of American Bakery. They're the best ones at it. American Bakery apple turnovers. You're tasting it now.
Soft.
You're tasting it now. It's not. It's soft.
Cinnamon. I smell that.
Yeah, cinnamon, and you get the little appley things on the inside. And just enough of a crust there on the side to finish things off. Have that with what am I thinking? Foremost chocolate milk. Somebody was asking me yesterday about when we're going to get Orange Drink back, and I said I don't actually work there, but I know some of the people that do, and maybe we will. So Bakery Day today. So go and find your favorite bakers. Like I said, ours is American Bakery, and see what they got for you. 6:57 and change. And what the heck? Just I'm going to do the small talk portion early. Just got a couple of minutes to kill before Fox News and an update on what's going on with the number one with the markets. The Dow, another bloodbath on the Dow today, but also what they're finding out as daytime is turning into afternoon in Florida and that part of the country. But just because people keep asking me about this, the Jewelry Pool J diet yesterday consisted of Tomorrow donut. The big loop.
Yeah.
The big loop. Just loaded with sugar. So there was a box of that. Somebody brought fried rice. Somebody brought a big thing of fried rice and a bunch of coffee cups and spoons. It was so good. The only thing that was missing, no aji. I don't know why they didn't put any ajinomoto in it. But otherwise, it was a really, really good fried rice. That will work next week. Somebody else brought a tray of lumpia. That's it. Tray of lumpia.
What's happening over there?
I don't know. It's
I want in.
But it used to be, you'd think it waste time for several hours of the day, but as it turns out, it is now, if you're on a diet, Jury J's Thursday are cheat days, because there's no way you can avoid it. And the nice lady that brought the bologna and cheese sandwich from last time also likewise brought some more bologna and cheese sandwiches. I cannot say any of their names, but thank you very much. It is much, much appreciated. Now, a name that I can't say is the guy from the Attorney General's office that does the narrations and tells the stories on all of these criminals and thugs and all the crimes that they commit, all the crazy ways that they live their thug life. That thin veneer that's just below the surface of polite society. His name is Mr. Kinnunen from the Attorney General's office, and I want to say happy belated birthday. His birthday was yesterday, and we celebrated by bringing in fried rice and lumpia and bologna and cheese sandwiches. So if you know the guy, let him know that this guy on the radio really appreciates what he does for the criminal justice system. Closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, now you might lose audio. You might lose the entire feed. I have no idea what's going to be happening, but I'm going to reset a driver here, and hopefully that will take care of the audio issues on the point here this morning. Otherwise, you're going to have to dig into radio 93.3 or the online stream. Check it out, would you? KUSG is The Point 93.3. Fox News Live happening just about now.
This is a Fox News alert. Not over yet. I'm Lisa Brady.
This storm can still be dangerous and even deadly.
North Carolina Governor That is what has happened. It has just regained hurricane strength. Northeast Florida still dealing with a storm surge and overflowing rivers. Central Florida also among the areas devastated by flooding as Hurricane Ian churned its way across the state as a devastating tropical storm. Parts of Southwest Florida, where it made landfall yesterday, still hard to reach because of so much damage and debris.
I asked one man, how's he doing? And he said, lost everything. And that's really become a common refrain around here. One person or another just saying they've lost everything, dragging what they can, in plastic containers to try and save it.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Charlotte County, where Ian laid waste to a mobile home park. A statewide effort to restore power to more than 2 million people continues.
We're committed to restoring the infrastructure as needed. That is not going to be an overnight task. That is going to be something that is going to require a lot of love and care. It's going to require a lot of resources, but we're going to do it because we understand how important it is.
Governor Ron DeSantis calls Ian a 500-year flood event. It's not clear yet how many residents still need rescuing or how many lives may have been lost. President Biden says he will visit Florida. For now, he's sending the FEMA chief tomorrow after signing a disaster declaration this morning. America is listening to Fox News.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Just recapping that latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, Ian has become a hurricane once again. It's now taking aim at the Carolinas and Georgia. Forecasters warning of life-threatening flooding, storm surge, and strong winds. The parents of children who survived a Texas school massacre are suing the school district, gun makers, and others.
In a federal lawsuit, the families of 3 survivors of the mass shooting at Robb Elementary accuse 11 defendants, including the city of Uvalde and the school district, of violations, including negligence. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in May by an 18-year-old shooter. The suit alleges the school was underprepared despite receiving funds to improve safety. Claims city police failed to protect the victims by not following state-mandated active shooter training. And accuses Daniel Defense, the manufacturer of the gun used, of reckless marketing, citing an ad it tweeted days before the shooting showing a toddler holding an assault-style weapon. The suit seeks damages and a trial. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
An American woman involved in a fatal crash in England appears by video in a British court.
The U.S. invoked diplomatic immunity on behalf of Anne Sakulas after she was involved in a traffic accident in which 19-year-old Harry Dunn was killed. He was on a motorcycle when she hit him outside an airbase used by U.S. forces. At the time, the U.S. said Sakulas was a wife of a U.S. diplomat. She left the U.K. after the accident in 2019, and the U.S. denied an extradition request. Thursday's hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court in London was the first hearing. She only spoke to confirm her name. The judge told her she may be expected to appear before a judge in person in the UK at her next hearing.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Last year, Dunn's family announced a settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit. Wall Street goes back to selling amid renewed recession fears, the Dow dropping 458, the S&P hitting its lowest level since late 2020, down more than 2%. America and Lisa Brady, Fox News.
It's not an accident to live a healthy, long life. It's a choice. The food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe. A deep, restful sleep along with exercise will put you on a good path to live a healthier, longer life. At NutraWay Systems, we choose to help people find the right solutions to live a longer, healthier life. Make the right choice. NutraWay Systems. Come by our office today. We are located on the 2nd floor of the Daily Plaza in Dededo, or give us a call at 671-864-7867.
It's a September to remember. Chicken Fries Friday is back. Every Friday in September, visit any participating Burger King and say, I love BK Chicken Fries, and get a 9-piece chicken fries with the purchase of a chicken fries combo meal. Perfect for dipping in our barbecue, honey mustard, ranch, zesty, and sweet and sour sauces. Top off your chicken fries with jalapeno bites and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Come join our September celebration every Friday at BK Tumon Bay, Agatna, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK, your way.
Attention contractors and future homeowners. Come and network with Guam's construction industry at the 2022 GCA Construction Industry Trade Fair and Expo, happening September 29th and 30th at the FD Phoenix Center in Manilao. Doors open from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. on both days, and admission is free. With over 50 exhibitors, your time will be well spent looking at new products and services, whether you're a contractor or future homeowner. For more information, contact GCA at 671-647-4840.
Holiday at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. An attorney representing former GPD Lieutenant Jojo Garcia says the only reason there is a trial related to terrorizing charges is because certain people didn't like Garcia. His trial began yesterday afternoon in Superior Court. The case against Garcia accuses him of threatening 4 people between November 2021 and January 2022. Assistant AG Dennis Lee did not give many details about Garcia's actions, but stressed it will be up to the jurors to determine whether Garcia crossed a line. A widely circulated cell phone video showed a handful of people arguing in a Dededo neighborhood with Garcia, who was off duty and armed with what appeared to be a rifle. The first witness called to testify against Garcia was a GPD officer who the prosecution said last week would be part of a long parade of witnesses that consist of Garcia's superiors and subordinates testifying against him. Trial continues today with more witnesses called by the prosecution. And the Vatican presented another New York court decision yesterday to bolster its motion to dismiss a similar Guam case that seeks to hold the Holy See responsible for former Archbishop Anthony Apparon's sexual assault of a minor in school year 1994-1995. Lawyers for the Vatican cited New York District Court Judge J. Paul Oetken's September 28 decision, which granted the Holy See's motion to dismiss the case filed by 30 plaintiffs claiming they were victims of childhood clergy sexual abuse. In the New York case, the judge concluded that the court lacks jurisdiction under U.S. law. The Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, which allows foreign states to avoid being sued in court. Courts have treated the Holy See as the state of the Vatican. Similar cases were brought to the Guam court's attention, in which the court also dismissed the case, essentially saying the Holy See could not be sued in a court for Catholic priests' sexual assaults, which affirms that the Vatican enjoys sovereign immunity. Guam District Court Chief Judge Francis Tydinko Gatewood is currently weighing the Vatican's motion to dismiss the Guam case. More news after this.
All too often, governments do too little in some areas, but too much in others. The Camacho Ada team wants GovGuam to provide basic services and otherwise stay out of people's lives. Government overreach will not happen in the Camacho Ada administration. And they believe in 3 co-equal branches of government, not having one exert power over the others. For more on Felix and Tony's plans for government services, visit CamachoAdaForGuam.com.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
There's no clear time frame when the Guam Environmental Protection Agency will decide on the U.S. Air Force's permit to continue burning waste munitions and detonation activity along the northern coast of Guam. Guam EPA spokesperson Nick Lee says the application remains under review. The response comes after District Court Chief Judge Francis Tydinko Gatewood dismissed Putehi Letegzan's lawsuit against the Air Force, demanding they stop the activity up north. The group is concerned over the harmful impacts being caused. On Wednesday, the court said the issue is for the Guam EPA to tackle. Lee says final action taken on the permit application will require every course of action to be examined, including an analysis on available alternative technologies on the affected waste streams managed by the base. This is necessary for the agency to determine the overall safety hazards and environmental impacts posed by explosives and waste munitions, and the treatment and disposal of such materials. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Josh Tenorio has urged the legislature to reconsider overriding Governor Lulian Guerrero's veto of Bill 11, which would require the governor to seek legislative approval to extend a public health emergency beyond the first 2 months. Guam has lived under a state of public health emergency since March of 2020. In a letter to Speaker Therese Terlahi, Tenorio explains that there are services that benefit the community through the declaration of a public health emergency. A few include the activation of the National Guard to provide COVID-19 response services like vaccination and booster clinic support, licensing requirements, permits, or fees required for the licensure of healthcare professionals were waived. GovGuam employees, including firefighters, police officers, and hospital and public health employees, are eligible for 10% COVID-19 response differential pay only during a public health emergency, and emergency SNAP allotments provide over $2 million in monthly assistance to over 15,000 households. The legislature is set to vote to override the veto this afternoon. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
I don't know how we didn't get a telephone call or an invite to go and observe Operation Golden Bee. Members from Anderson Air Force Base participated in Exercise Golden Bee, a joint readiness exercise designed to provide training, integration, and rehearse strategic and operational objectives in the Indo-Pacific area of responsibility at Anderson Air Force Base. This took place between the 22nd and 28th, so it's too late. It's too late now.
How dare they? I should call Benjamin Nicholson, Ray.
Hosted at the Forward Edge in the Indo-Pacific and led by Air Mobility Command, many units and airmen came together to participate in Exercise Golden Bee. And you know the reason why I never heard of it? Because they're embarrassed by the name. Golden Bee. Well, it was like, hey, what's the next one? You'll be something moth. Here is the silver moth.
It's neat to know, Ray.
Exercise.
It's neat to know.
Golden Bee, and like I said, you know, somebody from the you know the Intel, whatever, not Intel, but public affairs. You know, this is why guys go to Denfos so that they can spot opportunities like the one here. We need it. It should not be Golden Bee. It should not be Golden Bee. It should not be anything where you can take out one letter of the word and replace it with another, and then turn it into something that is going to be a worldwide joke. Yes, I did this joke earlier, but you couldn't hear it because the audio was lousy, so I'm doing it again. Exercise Golden Bee. All of the other Air Force guys around the planet are going, hey, they did an exercise, Golden Bee. You know, how are they going to take us seriously in this thing? Now, this is the same Air Force that just a couple of weeks ago came out and said we're not using gendered names or gendered pronouns in the government at the Air Force. It's like, and it starts here. Golden bee. What's the next one's going to be about a butterfly? Oh no, the 8-spotted butterfly. That'll show the hostiles around here. Golden bee.
How about murder hornet? Operation Murder
Hornet. What's wrong with that? You guys aren't thinking here anymore. If you are, you're thinking it. I don't know. You get that knucklehead up in Washington, D.C., all of the knuckleheads that are trying to make you guys woke and softer. Come on. What would the SEALs do? Ask the SEALs what their operation was going to be. You know, what's it called? Operation Kill, Death. That's what it's called. That's what we're calling all of our... Didn't we use that one already? No, we're going to use it all the time. All right. Speaking of operations, I put this up on the screen so just real Joe and Donna could see it. But I want to show you... This, guys, is how you get ready. And unfortunately, we can't because it's Guam, and we just don't have access to it. On screen right now this is out in Sumter County in Florida.
Sumter.
I just like saying Sumter. Kill, death. And they have staged something on the order of 42,000 linemen and their equipment. So
bucket trucks?
Bucket trucks and ladder trucks and underground trucks and all of them. They got just regular plain old utility truck. Some place to hide the cooler. I can see all of these things. They already got
the compartment for the cooler.
the yellow igloo cooler on the side, right?
Yeah.
You close your eyes and thinking cable guys, right? That's basically what we got here, guys. They're going to be restringing all of the electricity in Florida. But that is the kind of preparedness that you like to see. Look, we know we're going to get hit. We know our hair is going to get messed. But we've got 42,000 of these guys, and some of them are dudes from other states that are sleeping in the trucks, so that they can go right to work. That is America, right there. You know a Republican thought of that, right? That's it. You know what? Because the Democrat would have just the Democrats would just go, "Oh, the power's out. What are we going to do?
Need some of that money.
We don't have any real men around here. There's no real men to turn the lights back on here. Get me a latte. Oh, you can't make me a latte because there's no electricity." Sorry, I'm in that mood. Mostly sunny today, highs near 87 degrees, winds east up to about 7 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Now, I want to get this up on the screen so that you can see what the hood looks like. Now, right now, we're in the clear, and that's why they're saying through most of the day, we ought to be under mostly sunny skies. But you see all that chop there that's coming up? That's going to be rising up and moving the line on the intertropical convergence zone. We're going to get some of that as it comes through here, and that's why they're saying starting tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms could be moving into the area. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies, partly cloudy skies. By Sunday, it should be mostly cloudy, but I'm still going to hold out hope that we're going to be able to get some grill marks in this weekend. Heat index is 92 degrees is what it's going to feel like today, so another hot one until those clouds start rolling in. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:12. Hashtag tell the others. There it is, news and weather together, dedicated to the men and women of Golden P. Abi, the exercise Golden B, from all of us here at The Point.
GovGuam employees and retirees choose Take Care. Choose network providers including GRMC, GMH, STA, GRC, AMC, and exclusive access to FHP. Choose lower copays at in-network providers. Choose fitness partners including PFC. Choose a payroll deduction as low as $2.04 bi-weekly. Open enrollment is September 13th to the 26th. For more information, go to TakeCareAsia.com or call 671-647-3526. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Becoming a homeowner for the first time could be a little nerve-wracking, but it certainly doesn't have to be, especially if you have Lolita Kamet of Hoffaday Realty guiding you every step of the way. So have no fear. She also specializes in land sales, commercial leasing, local residential sales leasing, also military and corporate new relocation. So for all your real estate needs, take the first step in the right direction with Lolita Kamet of Hoffaday Realty by calling 671-688-6743. That's 671-688-6743.
All right, this is going to be the funniest meme you see all day. For those of you that are listening to the radio and not being able to see the meme here, it says, Hero, DeSantis sends the Hurricane Ian to Martha's Vineyard.
Well played.
And Donna's looking at the guy in the picture. She said, "Who's that?" I said, "Ron DeSantis." And she says, "Well, who's that?" I said, "That's the next president of the United States of America. If I hold my nose correctly."
Former Navy SEAL.
Yep. SEAL Team Ray.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to start calling it. 7:18 of the Ray Gibson Show. Portions brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the guys over at Wendy's. The pub is back. Head over to Wendy's for the pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger, quarter pound of juicy beef, applewood smoked bacon, and put it all on a soft toasted pretzel bun. Hit that with smoky honey mustard, crispy fried onions, pickles, warm beer cheese sauce. Have them throw some of that on the bacon pub fries. You can also have that with a classic chicken fillet. That's the way you do that. The pretzel bacon pub is back. No need to reminisce anymore. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
7:19, Ray Gibson Show, and where are we now? The last day of September, which means it's time to start putting your Christmas decorations up. Home Depot, I don't know. I haven't been to Home Depot in a couple of weeks. Have they loaded up the, are they done with the Halloween fixtures? Or?
The Halloween's mad crazy right now, and I think they're starting to set up the
Christmas displays. Right. I get all of that stuff. I don't need any more Christmas stuff. I've got somebody handed up a tree for me last year.
Ray.
And it's one of those, it's the kind of tree that you just open it up in the box and put it in the corner of the house and plug it in. It's already, everything is already there. All the decorations,
tree.
yes.
Made in China.
Probably, I don't care. I don't care. It's festive.
You
just
don't.
If you
86 days, Ray.
What is it? The theory here is get yourself one of those trees so you don't ever have to worry about buying a tree every year. And if you want to get that smell, the Christmas tree smell in the house, then you go and you buy a wreath and get one of those things and put those in the house. And then you're, I guess it'll fool your brain into thinking that you spent $60 on a tree, right?
A noble, right?
A noble, whatever. I forget. It's been so long. A Douglas fir or a noble, I think were the two kinds that we got out here. What's that, Jerry Roberts?
No, sir.
No.
The absolute best tree to have is a Tongan tree. No, you
no shortage of those.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
The first year that my wife and I were together. She went off, and she went off into the boonies because she's that kind of girl. And she chopped and cut Tongan, off, and came back and assembled it into a Christmas tree. Spectacular.
Do we have pictures?
I don't know if we have pictures of that or not. We'll probably do somewhere.
Yeah.
But but think of this now. You think of the color of Tongan, right? And there's nothing hanging off of it. I mean, these are just empty branches, essentially. And then you hang your ornaments on that, and any colors you want. It was incredible.
Sound like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree?
Yeah. Just incredible.
Getting there. Well, I'm going to take your advice on that, maybe. And
and guess what?
If I get one from over by Shelley's house, it'll already have the tree snake in it.
Gotcha. Tree is free.
Tree is free. Absolutely. Well, like I said, mine was a hand-me-up. 7:21 in the morning. Quick look at what's going on in the markets. This could be bad. I didn't actually open the thing up, and I can approximate it, though, because the last word I heard was that it was really awful for the Dow. Lost. They were, when I got into the office this morning, they were down by like 650 points. They were able to recover a little bit.
So
but
one-day sell-off.
Yeah, it was a lousy recovery. While I'm waiting for that to get up on the screen, just a couple of notes here. Yesterday we were talking about the price of gasoline going down to $4.89.9, and somebody had asked me, Ray, when was the last time we'd seen gasoline that low? And it was January the 5th was when they made an adjustment. On January the 5th, they adjusted it to $4.89. And I think that was down from a higher price because you remember there was a lot of up and down in the first part of the year. But if you want to wish for something special, your Christmas miracle that you can start thinking about right now, we'll go back to April the 24th of 2020. when you and I would pull up to the gas station and buy gasoline for $2.98 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we want to wish for. That's what I'd like to see coming out of Washington, D.C., coming out of the industries. I'd like to see gasoline go back down to where that was. All right, on the market, real quick, S&P 500 lost 78 points. That's down by 2.1%. The NASDAQ off by 314. They are the biggest loser here, losing almost 3% of their value in one day's trade. They closed at 10,737. Dow Jones Industrial Average at 29,225. Like I said, it was a bad day on the Dow, but they were able to recover just a little bit, closing in the red by 458 points. The FTSE is off by 123. Nikkei up by 248. Hang Seng Index down by 85. The Shanghai down by 4. And I got the DAX off by 207. Looking at some of the other markets, let me just go through the NASDAQ and see. Did anybody go green today? Answer, yes. Okta Inc., green by a couple of percent. AstraZeneca, Vertex Pharmaceuticals, and then all of the numbers start going backwards. Verisk Analytics is off by a point, and Kraft Heinz lost almost a percent here. Sorry, a tenth of a percent. At the bottom, Tesla, Lucid, Advanced Micros, Splunk, and XL Energy. On the commodities, I got oil at $81.61, so it's lost a little bit of value from where it was yesterday, but distressed to see that it is back over 81, so enjoy that $4.89 a gallon gas while you can. Looking at gold, $16.68. That's off by $1.20 or so. And the exchange rate between here and Japan, I want to say we've got another milestone here, 144.46 if you are going to be making the exchange over at the bank. There are cheaper places to do all of that, but there are the charges. So good luck to the Japanese that are going to be coming to Guam. Fewer dollars to the yen that they're going to be making that exchange. Bitcoin number, Real Joe?
19,489.
All right, and what are you going to be doing with your foreign exchange bump? They're doing research in the world of retail, and a survey says that Americans will spend record amounts this Halloween on candy. Yes. In fact, on everything else.
Candy corn.
On everything else. They're going to spend record amounts on candy. They're going to spend record amounts on decorations, and they're going to spend record amounts on their costumes for Halloween this year. Because everybody wants to escape this Biden reality that we can't get out from under until the midterms. What do you think? Good enough reason? That's what I thought. 7:25. Jerry Roberts is in the studio, and it is Friday, and that means that he's got to put in an extra point today because it's got to take. You can handle the pressure. You've done all of this before. It's either that, or I'm going to find another one of these articles where people are complaining about working.
We're quietly quitting.
Yeah,
it's not quietly quitting.
We don't want that.
No, now everybody's saying,
yes, sir, I'm ready.
We have to take care of middle managers because middle managers are feeling the brunt of the quiet quitters, and they got supervisors above them saying you're a middle manager and you got quiet quitters. It just means you have to work more, and so now we have to take care of all of the middle managers. I think maybe we just start all over again in some industries. 7:25 now with the extra point. Here's Jerry Roberts.
There are 4 letters that, when put together, can invoke strong emotions. These emotions can stop us in our tracks and allow no progress, or they can propel us far and far beyond anything we've ever felt capable of doing before. Now, what is it? What are the 4 letters? That's coming next on the Extra Point.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
4 letters. 16 people had those 4 letters in mind, those 4 letters that comprise the word fear. Don't be afraid of quotations. Here's what they had to say. Number one, fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. Number two, Les Brown, a motivational speaker. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Three, Corrie ten Boom, a watchmaker and author. She said, worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, or woman, one of her great surprises is to find out that she can do what she was afraid she couldn't do. The politically correct Henry Ford, who gave cars to the masses. Plato, philosopher, said, number five, we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Number six, hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. Did you know that Simon and Garfunkel song was about fear? And the fear was because they had an image of we'd get to a place in society where people were kind of told what to think, and they would think that way and all fall in line. Kind of George Orwellian, but that's what they saw back in 1965 when they came out with the song. Number seven, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius, Roman Empire. Susie Kassem, poet and writer, said, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. 9, Alice Walker, author, The Color Purple, what the mind doesn't understand, it worships or fears. 10, Anonymous, fear is temporary. Regret is forever. 11, D.L. Moody, evangelist, our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at something that doesn't really matter. Think about that. I'm going to repeat it because this one is one you want to write down somewhere and talk to people about. Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at something that doesn't really matter. Babe Ruth, the Sultan of SWAT, he said, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Bruce Lee, actor and martial artist, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Alexander the Great, he said, I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Ryan Holiday, author, he said, there is nothing worth doing that is not scary. There is no one who has achieved greatness without wrestling with their own doubts, anxieties, limitations, and demons. And finally, Jack Canfield, co-author and speaker, and he co-authored the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. He said, everything you want is on the other side of fear. That's the extra point. Be responsible. Don't be afraid. And make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
And always an opportunity for me to throw my personal slogan in there. Yep. Courage is always rewarded. But that doesn't mean to say that there are things that I am not afraid of. I've got a couple of fears. My biggest fear, and this is for real, it's the fear of being ordinary. I've never wanted, I can't think of anything less exciting than to live an ordinary life. And I'm lucky because I get to do this every single day, and the lifestyle that comes along with it over the last bunch of years has been just unbelievably rewarding. So here's to not being ordinary, and I hope that's a fear that I can instill in you, so you, as you're listening, don't live an ordinary life. It's 7:32, amen. And time for, an amen on that. We'll jump into news and headlines with Donna D, brought to you by my Auntie Lolita. She's with Hoffaday Realty, and ask her what's happening with real estate around here. I think there might be a couple of surprising answers and opportunities for you. Pros over at Hoffaday Realty all sit around together and try to find those opportunities for their buyers and sellers. The headline news also being brought to you by friends over at Burger King. And in just a few days, October the 4th, yes, you will be able to start voting for them as Pika's Best in a bunch of different categories. I'd like to see them win in every single one. So start taking a look at that now. I checked in with somebody over at the place, and the links are ready for voting, but they just aren't active yet. And the reason why I asked was because I wanted to start early voting for us. The same way they got early voting, the election commission. I wanted to go in and get some.
What's early voting?
I might forget. I don't know. Anyway, 7:32. Donna D
I
is.
put it in my calendar. I have an alarm every day.
Got news and headlines here. Donna, what happened?
A Navy sailor facing aggravated murder charges for drowning her 1-year-old daughter is waiting to find if she is fit to stand trial. 29-year-old Aisha Copeland appeared before Judge Vern Perez yesterday for a competency hearing. The court confirmed it received the forensic evaluation. In May, she was found standing at the ledge of Two Lovers Point with her lifeless baby strapped to her chest. Authorities were able to talk her off the ledge of the 400-foot cliff. Meanwhile, a long-time goal of installing more sewer lines in Atacao is advancing. The lack of sewage service in certain areas of the island has resulted in a reliance on septic tank systems, which can contribute to nitrate contamination in Guam's water supply. GWA hopes to begin the design work before the end of this year and anticipates construction may take place in late fiscal year 2023 or early fiscal 2024. And college graduates interested in learning and living in Japan are invited to apply to the Japan Exchange and Teaching, or JET program. The JET program is an opportunity for adults interested in studying Japanese to live and teach in Japan for a year. Applicants don't need to know Japanese and can serve as assistant language teachers to English instructors for middle and lower school students. Applications are being accepted by the Consulate General of Japan in Hagåtña until November 18. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, gotcha. Couple of, would you like to go and live and work in Japan and be an English instructor?
You know, when I first was graduating, because you
Last
have a lot
week?
from getting my bachelor's, I did apply for the program, but I'm kind of glad I didn't go.
Why?
Because I hear the stories from other people from here who went over there, and it's like kind of crazy, you know.
Like what? Like, do they make you a slave or something? Do they take your passports? Are you, do they make you sleep on top of the washer dryer?
It's more like handling the kids, you know.
Are you not allowed to?
No, like
tell the story.
They do this thing. Well, this is different because the guy I know, he's a guy, and he said like almost every day. Well, actually, yeah, every day they would do this thing. I don't know what you call it, but they get their hands like this and they shove it up his butt. Like that when he's passing by.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I don't know. They call it something, but
the conversation took a turn I wasn't really expecting. That'll happen every once in a while. Hey, I want to do a shout here, quickly changing the subject from the hand gesture thing. Want to do a shout to somebody who's listening right now in New Zealand, in Auckland in particular. And here is a question that you would think we're in virtually the same time zone. As New Zealand and Australia, you would think there would be closer cultural ties between us here on Guam and then, but it's not true. So let me ask this question to the Australian and Aussie community here on Guam. What's the difference? So you got the people over in the big continent over there, and they're Aussies, and over here in New Zealand, they're Kiwis. How do we know the difference? Now I've got friends that are from that area, and it's one of those things. I don't ask them where they're from. They told me once, and I forgot, and I can't tell. They say, but you can listen to the accents and how people pronounce long E words, and the Kiwis pronounce U words and things like that. But I'm just not. I'm not totally versed in all of that. And they say you've really got to train your ear if you want to tell at least that difference between Australians and New Zealanders. So I'm kind of curious about that. What are some of the other cultural differenous? Like in New Zealand, can you get eaten by a crocodile like you can in the rivers in Australia? Do you have the same kind of, I don't know, venomous snakes and things like that you've got out there? In fact, venomous everything. In fact, I know some places in Australia, they've got an equivalent of a brown tree snake, except it's venomous and it's got fangs and they can fly. They can jump from the tree right onto you.
Flying eels.
Exactly. They didn't tell you that in the that Dundee movie, did they? Anyway, so just if you're listening, 7978255. You have WhatsApp in New Zealand, right? You guys are at that level of sophistication. That's our WhatsApp number, 671-797-8255. Maybe a reading of something so I can hear an actual New Zealand accent as opposed to the Australian accents that I think I'm hearing now. I don't know. 7:37 on the Ray Gibson Show. We're probably going to take a break here and come right back.
Attention all passengers. This is your pre-boarding announcement for flight UOG EF40, scheduled for departure on Saturday, October 8th for our gala destination at the Dusitani Guam Resort. Passenger check-in time is 5 p.m. Your onboard entertainment will be a reunion of the casuals with Jesse and Ruby. For ticketing information, please call our agents at 671-735-2957. We thank you for choosing to fly with the UOG Endowment Foundation. Enjoy your flight with Tritons transforming the world.
Family is the bedrock of society. The Camacho Ada gubernatorial team believes that strong and stable families are crucial for strong and stable communities. Felix and Tony will provide better government resources for effective parenting, family engagement, and family caregiving for our seniors. They know what the breakdown of the family unit has done to our community and will promote measures designed to maintain and strengthen the family as the fundamental unit of society.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
In 22 minutes, it's 8 o'clock. And then I got to go to jury duty. No, I'm kidding. No, that was yesterday. Today is Friday. And you're stuck with me until at least 10 o'clock this morning. All right, on screen right now. Let's take a look at what's happening in traffic. Let me just do a quick refresh on this and see, as usual, the ugly spots. Southbound Marine Corps Drive up in Dededo, running into some traffic over at Isang Song. That's going to lead into some other intersection traffic that's going to be slowing you down until you get to the intersection of 1 and 3. And then you're going to slow down even more. Traffic coming off of 3 onto Marine Corps Drive. It opens up a little bit on Route 16, but then 16 gets busy over by the 76 Circle K up at Ocean Vista, as well as some spots that we've got at 8, 10, and 16. 4 and 10, 10 and 15 look like they're running fairly busy. Dogging out traffic on Route 8 is going to slow you down into town. 4 has got some of the usual spots that are running fairly slow here again this morning. Looking at traffic on Route 2, taking a while getting from that road onto Marine Corps Drive. It's meeting up with a lot of southbound traffic of people trying to get into Big Navy. Suppose the Navy guys are making fun of the Air Force guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Golden Bee. Golden Bee. All right, 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. That's traffic here on The Point.
It's back. Sunday, October 2nd, the Guam Army National Guard presents the GSPN Imas Metgood Strongman Competition. Come to the Paseo grounds and find out who will be the 2022 Strongest Man and Strongest Woman. Can Big Tonsalas and Brittany Pareda defend their titles? Watch the Strongest on Island take on the Pacific Unlimited Outrigger Lift, the Pacific Tire CTE Tire Flip, IT&E's Pro Pull, the Michelob Ultra Keg Toss, and Paradise Fitness's Tombstone Walk. And you got to be there for the Triple J Truck Pull. Food and drinks will be on sale. All proceeds going to the Tasa Canoe Builders. The GSPN Imas Metgood Competition, Sunday, October 2nd, starting at noon. Special thanks to the stations of Choice Broadcasting. That's Boss 104, Star 101, and The Point.
Your everyday expenses could be earning you savings and rewards with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points at Shell, Foodies Guam, and IT&E. Want free fuel from Shell and free snacks from Foodies Guam? Sign up for Pacific Points. Want to save on your home internet and cell phone bill? Claim bill rebates and free prepaid cards at IT&E. Want to save on travel costs? Convert points to United Mileage Plus miles. Sign up for free at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's not a confession. Those of you that have been listening to me for any amount of time know that there is no great plan on the way the program is done. There's wake up in the morning, get here at 5, and then just start reading newspapers and scripts and things like that, looking for all kinds of different stories that we can talk about during the day, and many of them are of some public interest or public note. But every once in a while, the program will take a strange and bizarre turn. As it did a few minutes ago. Donna D talking about maybe, investigating the lifestyle of some kind of an instructor working with children in Japan, and then changing her mind because she heard that somebody, they're apparently heavy into a thing that Kitsutsu in Japan on the YouTube side. Come on, man. He's defined as kancho. That's what you were talking about. It is a concho. Now, this is from Wikipedia. I'm not making this up, and I'm not trying to, just throw words out here to be, edgy and clever. You already know I'm edgy and clever. I don't need to underscore it. Yes. Well, I'm going to use it in a clinical term. The same way, as an example, with you get what's his name? What's the doctor nobody likes?
Oh.
That could be.
Oh, Bird. Dr. Bird?
Bird, right?
Akimoto.
I don't know. No, everybody likes him.
I'm just kidding,
They
Doc.
just didn't like it when he was on the air, right? Because he kept, shilling for the governor and everything, and people were going, no. When the governor said you are the victims, now the vector is not the victims, we all took that the wrong way. No, we pretty much got it right. But anyway, the concho, according to Wikipedia, a prank performed by clasping the hands together in the shape of an imaginary gun and attempting to poke an unsuspecting victim's anus.
Interesting.
Thank you very much. Yes, I
So when are we moving to Japan?
the clinical. Well, okay, so I'm just. Is Carl still here? He hasn't gone to Japan yet, has he? No, I think we ought to get with the governor. And maybe we ought to have a Concho festival here on Guam. I think something like that might be fun.
Festival.
Oh, speaking of festivals, Matsuri.
Aye.
The Aki Matsuri is coming back.
Hank Rice is back.
Hank, and some time on the stage. In fact, you might want to call him. You might want to get him on the line and find out if he's got any other information that I have. I just know it's at Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park, Epau Beach, 4 until like 9 or 9:30. I'm not going to. Let me get the date. I don't want to mess this up here. I think, although in my mind I want to say it's on the 19th or something like that. But I think it's going to be interesting. 7:43 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. I'm going to do something. I don't even know if these guys know I was going to do it. But what the hell? Let's see what happens and see how it plays. I'd like to welcome 2/3 of the Attorney General's get together at the hotel yesterday. On line one, I've got former Attorney General, the very first of the independent AGs, Doug Moylan. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, General. It's good to have you on the line. And a guy that is running against you as a write-in candidate, Pete Santos. So I wanted to get both of you on the line here. I'm not looking for a reprise on the debate or anything like that, but I do want to get your thoughts on how it went yesterday, and if you've got any lingering thoughts about how we need to continue to prepare to let people know just how important, and I can't underscore this either, how important this race for the Attorney General's office is. Doug, you go first.
Ray, there was a litmus test type question that was given, and it brought the experience of the AG's candidates for what is the civil part of the AG's duties and powers, and I think that separated us. They used the pandemic period, and both other candidates had talked about how the AG has to protect the government officials and so forth. And I pointed out that the AG has to protect the people. Obviously the Constitution and the laws are set up to protect liberty. Many of them are. And what happened in the pandemic, we saw this AG take the opposite approach and protect the government officials, and was congratulating himself about how he was defeating all these lawsuits like Ken Leon Guerrero and so forth. That isn't the purpose of the AG. The AG is supposed to assess it and then decide whether or not it's the people that should be protected or whether the government officials are properly acting. And I think Mr. Santos also took the Levin's position on that.
Peter, it's your turn.
Yes, just really quick. I think Mr. Moylan slightly mischaracterizes what Levin said and what I said. However, I think yesterday it showed everyone how out of touch Levin is. He said that, all my opponents want to do is talk about prosecution. Duh. That is the problem. He doesn't want us to talk about prosecution. He doesn't want people to focus on his failed policies at prosecution. He doesn't want people to recall that people are dying and bleeding and he has blood on his hands. So that's the takeaway that everyone should take from yesterday, is that Levin is out of touch.
As you pointed out, not knowing what he was doing in a prior Attorney General's debate prior to you signing on as a write-in candidate, I thought it would be interesting to hear, and I will watch the feed from Candidate a little bit later on this morning, because I'd like to see some of that back and forth in there between you guys and how your demeanor might have changed because you had an opportunity to be on that stage.
Yeah, I'm always passionate, Ray, and people, I was visiting a client the other day, and he goes, "Why are you yelling?" I said, "I'm not yelling. This is how I talk." Everyone knows that when I talk, I get passionate. I might have some Italian blood in me. I don't know, but everyone always says that I'm very loud and vociferous.
Well, one of the other things, and I don't want to turn this into a love fest, but it seems to me that there's quite a lot in common that the two of you have, with especially the attention being paid on prosecution, the criminal justice system, and how many people are going basically through a revolving door once they become part of a process after the Attorney General's office. And so I'm kind of curious as to your observations recently. You guys do this in real time, and I'm saying this because I know he's sending me some paperwork and an article, a link to a story on the Turlai corruption case, which you say demonstrates the current Attorney General's office's incompetency.
Right. And, what I will bring different than both Doug and Levin is that I will actually have lawyers want to work for me. That's the difference. You got to have a team to play a game, right? You got to you can't go to the field without a team, because then you have to forfeit. And that's what we're seeing with Levin. He's forfeiting the games. 2 days ago, they dismissed 2 criminal trials because there was not enough prosecutors.
Well, that's annoying to me, because it means that, and it's possible that these criminal trials I might have actually sat on the grand jury on and found there to be enough evidence to say, yeah, this ought to go to court, because there's a whole hell of a lot of bad guys out there. And like I said, if we don't have the prosecuting background for them to at least face a judge, that's a big problem. Doug, are you seeing the same thing on your side?
That's correct. That's because he doesn't have enough lawyers, and they've got a weak on crime type approach. But I would take issue with Mr. Santos's comment. He has not been an AG. I had a group of we left at about maybe 14 prosecutors. Those guys were 100% behind me. We were fighting crime. We were crime fighters. So I take issue with this saying that my team wasn't behind me. We fought the government corruption cases, the violent, the non-violent cases, those sorts of things. And with 30 years of experience, I am the most experienced, and I have a reputation. Albeit, people want to throw it all around. I was the pit bull. I may be short, but I got that what it takes in order to protect the people out there.
And it ought to be pointed out, Pete, didn't you work for Doug at some point?
No, actually, I was away in the military when Doug was in office.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't an attorney at the time.
Not an attorney then either. Okay.
Right, no.
Listen, there are a lot of different places where the conversation can go. I don't know necessarily that we've got to spend a lot of time, beating up Levin, unless he wants to call in. There's a line open, just by the way, 888-8255. But I think there's other things that we need to explore. There are other duties besides prosecution in the Attorney General's office. Doug, you've been through all of those kinds of things, and no doubt, Pete, you've got an idea of other non-crime activities that need to get done at the Attorney General's office. Understanding that might not be as sexy as prosecution. What are your plans with the other divisions? Doug, you go first.
There's 5 divisions. Child support was very important, but you also had representing the government agencies, saving the taxpayers' money. Government corruption was a division I created back then. The subsequent AGs shut it down. It will be restarted again with its own prosecutors, white-collar type crimes. Consumer protection is by statute required by the AG. The AG is civil and criminal, and I have full experience on running all 5 divisions at the same time. Obviously, moving attorneys around is going to be important because these guys are having a big problem with the crime.
Go ahead, Peter, and I've got a follow-up.
Yes, so I do have experience in that arena. I was the chief of administrative law for the 1st Cavalry Division and 3 Corps at Fort Hood, Texas, and we had a team of at least, at any given time, 24 attorneys that I had to lead. And so I am familiar with that type of work, albeit more on the federal side. With what we're seeing now with Levin, he kept on the folks that Elizabeth Barrett Anderson had in place. And that was the smartest move that he ever made, because they're the one that's keeping the boat afloat over there, not him. And so despite his lack of leadership, the AG's office is still functioning. He is the one that has 0 experience. He came into the office with just private practice. That was it. And we see the results. What I plan to do is to continue with these fine folks and empower them and assess where they're weak, assess where they're strong, shore up their strengths and work on their weaknesses.
7:51. That's Pete Santos, write-in candidate for the Attorney General's office. Doug Moylan also on the line with us this morning as we chat a little bit. There's a couple of things that did not come up, unfortunately, in the debate yesterday. I'll chase some of those things down. But the Attorney General's office doesn't exist in a vacuum. You don't work totally on your own. There are other agencies that you will be spending time with, the police department in particular. But also, please address how you envision working with B.J. Cruz at the Office of Public Accountability. Pete, Pete can go first, because I let you go first last time. Pete can go first this time.
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't have any big business connections, so I won't be protecting anybody, and that's what people see right now. You know, we can never pierce the veil with the decision-making over at the Attorney General's office, but we can see it, we can smell it, and we can taste it. People are being protected. And so when the public auditor, who doesn't have prosecutorial power, brings me his investigation, just like any other agency out there. You know, GPD is not the only agency that can investigate crimes and give it to the AG for prosecution, right? Any agency out there, any GovGuam agency that investigates crime, we will take that seriously, and there will be no special treatment if Peter Santos is the Attorney General.
Love the sound of a lot more action on white-collar attention, or white-collar crime attention. Doug, what are your thoughts, working with the OPA and other departments and agencies that have the capability of bringing complaints to you?
Well, Ray, there's not going to be a learning curve as Mr. Santos is going to need. Being a JAG is not like being an Attorney General or a Department of Justice at the Attorney General and Federal. So what we're talking about here, you asked about BJ. I was his law clerk for one summer. I practiced before him in all the courts that he held in the Superior Court of Guam, as well as in the Supreme Court of Guam when he was a justice, and I believe the Chief Justice at one point. BJ has a lot of history, a lot of expertise, and he's one of the men that I most respect that are currently in this government. Being the Office of the Public Auditor, we worked hand in hand with Doris Brooks for 4 years. We took 4 cases to trial. We had over 30 convictions in the government corruption area. I anticipate that BJ will be actually teaching a lot of the prosecutors a lot of things about what his viewpoint will be, whether cases should be prosecuted civilly, criminally, or just basically brought in and have these people resign from their office. The whole spectrum is out there. Having been the AG for 4 years, I've learned a lot. I have people that I want to talk about, like Carl and Felix. There's things that I would have done differently now versus how we were on our learning curve back then. But I think that if people want an AG that's going to hit the ground running, I am the one with the most experience, and I respectfully submit that to the people. I'm not going to be learning in there. We're going to be taking what I built in the first 4 years with the team that I put together and focusing straight on the violent, nonviolent, and the government corruption cases. And we're not just going to drag it into the grand juries. We're going to do the proper investigations. I think that that's going to be a very important part of anything that we do going forward in this.
7:55 in the morning. That's the former Attorney General Doug Moylan on the line. Peter Santos also on the line. And there are at the end of the article in today's Guam Daily Post a number of issues that were not addressed at the forum, including cannabis, criminalizing abortion, the concept of mass incarceration. I think we've got mass incarceration not the kind I think that you'd see in other places, but the kind that we've got here. It's mass incarceration because we're just full up over at the Department of Corrections. I'd like to see attention being paid to the concept of building up a new Department of Corrections so that we can humanely keep these people behind bars while they serve out their sentences. On the subject of cannabis, though, that came up, Doug, in one of the ads that Levin Camacho had put up on social media that showed a conversation that you and I were having on the radio here. And I don't know that you had seen it. I think you did address it in social media that he had kind of mischaracterized your quote.
Yeah, completely mischaracterized, as well as certain people within that cannabis industry. I am not against cannabis. The problem is that as attorneys, we are members, I'm a member of the federal bar. The federal bar requires that I observe and uphold the federal statutes. And by the way, look at the oath of office that Levin has taken, and that if Mr. Santos gets in the office, that he's going to have to take. It specifically says that support the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the United States applicable to Guam, and so forth. That is an oath that every government official takes. Look at Title 48 U.S.C. 1423D. Anybody that gets sworn into this government of Guam must comply with the federal laws. So I don't know how the Attorney General, this Attorney General, has been advocating cannabis when they could have the DEA raid them any day of the year. You know, these cannabis industries. That's why if you go to the States, and I've been to the States cannabis industries, including in Seattle, Washington, those guys are like game rooms. They can only deal with cash. And they had like wires up. They had a shotgun behind the cashier desk because those guys get hit because they can't use the banking industry because it's illegal. The federal government does not allow the Schedule I substance called cannabis. So how can the Attorney General, as an attorney, expect to keep his license or be dragged before the federal court and asked, why are you advocating the illegal substance called cannabis?
Interesting.
So my position on it isn't that I'm going to enforce it. No. I'm not just going to touch it. It's just not something that I can do.
7:57, Pedro, your turn.
Well, I would just say that we have to be mindful of Department of Justice policies. They've put out their policy on cannabis, and the states, as well as Guam, will have to guide themselves by that. And I don't see any conflict.
Doug Moylan on the line, Peter Santos on the line as well. And one last question, and I'm sorry, this is going to be more directed at Doug, Peter. But you had mentioned dealings that you had with Felix Camacho, cases that you had prosecuted against former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez. What would you do differently if you were presented with that same case?
Thanks, Ray. That was in the you can actually look at the video. They asked for one of the points. Felix, I needed to communicate better with him, and I think since that time, Felix and I have resolved all these issues that came up in the AG's office. The bond was the main one that I'm speaking of. With Carl, the case should have been investigated better. It should never have been brought to trial. The jury spoke very clearly when it said that he was not responsible for what had occurred and was not liable criminally. Those are the two regrets I have. Having been the AG before, and that's why the emphasis this time is going to be to push down on the investigations, make sure, and then decide, is a criminal prosecution the best, or is it just calling them in, having them quit their job, and taking a more constructive approach, as opposed to the destruction that an indictment can do to people.
And 7:59 and change. Guys, I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to conference the call and do our version of a little bit of a debate. Sorry, Levin couldn't join us. Maybe we'll save that for another time. Best of luck to both of you. We'll continue to follow this race very, very closely.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, bud. I'll talk to you pretty soon. And Doug, as I said, if I can't make the same offer to Peter. I don't know him as well, but if you win and you become the Attorney General again, Donna's going to do a jingle just for you.
Thank you. Consider Gladiator, too. Gladiator will work.
We'll start. Look, I'll check out the YouTubes. So nothing from The Sound of Music, then?
Well, I like the sound of music, but I don't think it's appropriate for the AG.
I gotcha. It's 8 o'clock. Here's Fox News on the Point.
News alert. It's a hurricane again. I'm Lisa Lacera. The National Hurricane Center says Ian is now a Category 1 storm. It's about 335 miles southwest of Cape Fear, North Carolina, with maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. It's expected to approach the coast of South Carolina tomorrow, and that has officials on high alert.
They're urging people to be wary not only of the rain, which could potentially drop up to a foot of water here in this area, but also the storm surge, several feet anticipated, so they're warning people about that, and also the high winds, which could lead to a multitude of power outages.
Fox's Molly Line in Charleston, South Carolina. Ian made landfall yesterday morning in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane, with the city of Fort Myers one of the hardest hit areas. More than 2 million in the state are still without power, and thousands are trapped by flooding from storm surge.
The people in Florida are very resilient. They're strong. They bounce back from these incidents. I made some trips out through some neighborhoods, and while people said, well, I lost this, we got this happen, they usually ended it with, but I'm glad to be here.
Mayor Kevin Anderson, Governor Ron DeSantis.
We're committed to restoring the infrastructure as needed. That is not going to be an overnight task. That is going to be something that is going to require a lot of love and care. It's going to require a lot of resources, but we're going to do it because we understand how important it is.
President Biden has already approved disaster funding for the area, which can include grants and low-interest loans to help residents and businesses rebuild. The Senate has approved a short-term spending bill that would avoid a partial government shutdown tomorrow night. The bill also includes additional money for Ukraine. The House still needs to take take up the measure. Wall Street stocks dropped back to their lowest point since 2020. The Dow lost 458, the NASDAQ off 314. America is listening to Fox News.
Shop and Win is back at Micronesia Mall. Beginning August 6th, shop and redeem receipts for a chance to win instant prizes from Burger King or Foot Locker, or receive a grand prize entry form for our first raffle drawing on November 12th for your chance to win a 2022 Toyota Corolla LE courtesy of Atkins Scroll Toyota. Plus, 10 lucky runners-up will receive a $250 gift certificate from Goodwin Travel and Tour for tickets for Philippine Airlines.
Shop more, win more.
Only at Micronesia Mall. Terms and conditions apply.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Now,
the family of a young woman killed in 1999 is appealing the release of the man who had been convicted of her murder.
A lawyer representing young Lee, the brother of Heyman Lee, files a notice to appeal a judge's decision to vacate the murder conviction of Adnan Syed. It doesn't list a basis for the appeal, but says the family was denied the right to meaningfully participate in the hearing. Heyman Lee died by strangulation in 1999. Syed, her 17-year-old ex-boyfriend, was arrested, convicted in 2000, and sentenced to life in prison. Released last week after the Baltimore City State's attorney cited new evidence in the case. Reps saying their responsibility is to ensure that justice is done and the right person is held accountable. Prosecutors have 30 days to decide if Syed will be retried, his case becoming the topic of the hit Serial podcast. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Michigan lawmakers will allow clerks to pre-process absentee ballots ahead of the midterm vote.
Michigan, one of few states that allow no-excuse mail-in ballots, and state officials will begin processing absentee ballots 2 days before the November 8th election. Under legislation approved this week, election officials would be allowed to remove absentee ballots from their outer envelopes, though wouldn't be allowed to remove secrecy sleeves or count votes until 7 a.m. on election day. The measure also increases ballot drop box security, including cameras, and requires county clerks to remove deceased voters from voter rolls monthly. It awaits a signature from Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Amazon says it will soon start selling a device that can track sleeping patterns without having to wear a wristband. The device, called Halo Rise, uses no-contact sensors and artificial intelligence to measure a user's movement and breathing patterns. When those are analyzed, they can help you see the quality of sleep that you get at night. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Attention contractors and future homeowners. Come and network with Guam's construction industry at the 2022 GCA Construction Industry Trade Fair and Expo, happening September 29th and 30th at the FD Phoenix Center in Manilao. Doors open from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. on both days, and admission is free. With over 50 exhibitors, your time will be well spent looking at new products and services, whether you're a contractor or future homeowner. For more information, contact GCA at 671-647-4840.
Come on down to Chili's and create your own dynamic duo starting at $29.99. Choose any two of your favorites from these delicious options. Margarita grilled chicken, country fried chicken crispers, 6-ounce sirloin, savory ancho salmon, or Cajun shrimp. For a few bucks more, upgrade to premium entrees, such as the 10-ounce sirloin or ribeye cooked to your liking. Or go big with our famous half-rack baby back ribs. Your dynamic duo creation comes with loaded mashed potatoes. At Chili's, more life and great value happen here. Located on the second floor, Tumon Sands Plaza.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. The statute of limitations for former DOC Deputy Director Joey Terlahi's charges have passed as he waits to see whether the charges will be dismissed with or without prejudice. Last month, Terlahi had charges of felonious restraint and 2 counts of official misconduct dismissed due to the prosecution not being able to contact his accuser. Court documents state that Terlahi helped former Zotnya Mayor Jesse Blas assault Blas's ex-girlfriend Vicky Lynn Teragedzu at a 2017 barbecue and detain her for 3 days. The statute of limitations for Terlahi's charges ends 3 years after he last held a government position, which was September 25, 2019. With the decision still to be made by Judge Alberto Tolentino whether the charges will be dismissed with or without prejudice, Terlahi's attorney Jay Areola says now that the statute of limitations passed, it doesn't matter. He cannot be prosecuted because he was not re-indicted before the 25th. Terlahi's next court hearing is scheduled for October 10. And a decomposed body was found in Harmon yesterday afternoon. A video circulating on social media showed an individual apparently trapped under a vehicle. Men in the video described what was perceived to be a tire jack on its side under the vehicle. A man is heard saying that the jack may have given out. GPD was called to the scene at MW Corporation a little before 1 o'clock and met with a man who said he found a body in the jungle after following a trail that led to abandoned vehicles. Officers found the body near an abandoned vehicle. The identity of the individual is not known at this time. A death investigation has been initiated. This is the second time in 3 weeks that police have investigated a decomposed body found in a jungle area. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Guam Chamber of Commerce Board Chairman Ed Untalan says rainbow fentanyl, which looks like candy, regular pills, or sidewalk chalk, is extremely dangerous, and its impact on children should be a concern for everyone on the island. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration states that fentanyl remains the deadliest drug threat facing the U.S. It is a synthetic opioid that is 50 times more potent than heroin, and drug traffickers have expanded their inventory to sell fentanyl in a variety of bright colors, shapes, and sizes. Rainbow fentanyl is a deliberate effort by drug traffickers to drive addiction among kids and young adults. Untalan feels there's not enough attention given to this issue locally, and it's an issue he says voters have to think about. Meanwhile, parents shared their concerns about safety after 3 GDOE properties were broken into recently, stressing that schools are supposed to be safe. Some parents want security cameras or several security guards to be placed on campuses. A Simon Sanchez High School parent was concerned about a recent issue at the GIGO school grounds, referring to a shelter-in-place at the campus on Monday. She says she wondered why her child did not contact her and said she understood teachers were not communicating with each other. Several other residents also mentioned that checking in should be more thorough upon entering school grounds. There have been at least 12 reports of schools being broken into since January of this year. The arrest of Frank Borja San Nicolas Jr. was tied to 2 break-ins at 2 GDOE properties. He admitted to recent PD burglaries of Jose Rios Middle School and a GDOE food warehouse. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
But he was being nice. He went back with that speaker and left it on the windowsill.
I have that at 8:30.
Oh, okay. All right. But you know, this fentanyl thing is scary. It is scary. They are trying to get kids to take fentanyl by putting it into a form that looks like one of those little, like a Chox or something, some kind of vitamin
like
that you would take.
Or
a sweet tart. It looks like you make the stuff look like candy, and the kids are going to go crazy for it. Fentanyl can kill you one time.
I don't get it.
It's just
why would they want to?
So I don't know. Yesterday, and it reminded me, the 2 stories should have run together in the news. News Director 101, drugs are a big story, and access to drugs need to be a bigger story, especially with children. So start working with your reporters on putting together stories just like that. But yesterday we did the magistrate report. You did that story on the guy over at the Paseo.
Oh, yeah, with the butane.
With the butane,
Yeah.
right? And what was he doing with the butane? He wasn't barbecue. That was not barbecue. According to the police magistrate report, Officer Cruz further observed that the defendant had a butane can in his hand and was inhaling gas from it.
Good grief. They didn't mention that.
The
in
police
Oh, my
officer.
God.
The guy was huffing right there on the spot. And so, you think we've got a problem with crystal methamphetamine. What happens when these guys can't get a hold of the crystal methamphetamine? Is they're going to go and find everything. These butane canisters, you can buy 6 of them for $4 at any Korean store on Guam. And I guess these guys are starting to use them as a way to huff and get high.
I prefer Elmer's glue. The white one.
The Gorilla Glue, also very, very good. I don't know. I worry about a generation or two of kids that are coming up in this town, and they got nothing to lean on except drugs. Absolutely crazy story here. Now, if you were watching the newscast when Donna went to the commercial break, I put this picture up on the screen, and it is a picture many of you may recognize, especially if you were around in the 1970s. You've been around forever, but she became in about 1974 the original television cougar. Her name is Angie Dickinson. She is 91 years old today. But back in the day, this picture here from about 1974, she was a 43-year-old woman in the television show Police Woman.
What?
And
she was actually 43 at the time.
At the time, when she played the police woman, she was already cougar in the cougar demographic, right?
In the uniform
40,
too.
43 years old. No, she was a detective. So, but I mean, she was there. This was. We never missed this show at the house. Every man that I knew over a certain age had fallen in love with Angie Dickinson all over again. So here's a shot of her from 48 years ago, and again she's 91 years old today. Other celebrities got birthdays. Johnny Mathis is 87. Greg from the Brady Bunch did we all consider Greg sort of a brother figure? For all of us, Greg is 68 years old.
Oh, he's still so young.
From the nanny, Fran Drescher. Fran Drescher is 65 years old. If you're looking for something to celebrate, I said earlier it was Bakery Day. Swing by American Bakery and get yourself some of these apple turnovers.
Those are the best.
You
I
know
love
you
those.
want them.
Yeah.
You know you want them fresh out of the oven, so they're just a little bit warm. You know that you can only get that feel over at the bakery place. It is also Hug a Vegetarian Day. Over the weekend, President Jimmy Carter will turn 98 years old, and very, very important for him to live as long as he did, to see somebody come up and be a worse president than he was. The numbers, no, it's true. You take by any metric now, fiscal, military, whatever. You take a look at any metric, and we are way worse off today than we were during the height of the Jimmy Carter presidency. Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music is 87 years old. I got Randy Quaid. We know him from the National Lampoon's Vacation movie, but we also know him from Independence Day.
That's what I remember
the pilot,
him from.
yeah.
When he did the concho with his airplane. With the airplane into the mothership. Thank you very much. Retrieval. We call it retrieval. He is 72 years old, but not just the vacation movies, but there's the Caddyshack 2. He played the lawyer in Caddyshack 2.
He's so funny.
Nobody, yeah. He's one of these guys that just, we can do this the legal way, or just get Mr. Baseball bat. And deal with it that way. So Randy Quaid, 72 years old. There might only be one other celebrity got a birthday over the weekend. Sunday, we will celebrate Sting's 71st birthday.
Wow.
As in the police.
You got
no.
What is his real name again, Ray? Something Sumter.
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 I'd look it up. CD Player Day tomorrow. For those of you that still have one. Pumpkin Spice Day, because it's going to be the first day of October Halloween. Yesterday was National Coffee Day. Today is International Coffee Day. So go to your favorite coffee place and see what they're up to. And then Audiophile Day on Sunday, if you're looking for something to celebrate. And I worry now because I'm of the opinion that there aren't enough people that have got access to really, really good, high-quality sound reproduction gear. There was a time that I would judge you, who you were as a person, by the quality of your stereo system in the house. You had a nice big Pioneer setup.
Yeah, that was Pioneer. That was like the thing.
Marantz.
Gosh.
Yeah, if you had Sony, you were kind of okay still. You know, everything was matching. But those were, in my mind, the big ones. And it might be a good time to take a look at the Crutchfield catalog and see if in the very least, buy yourself, if you're wondering where you want to get started on an audiophile journey, in the very least, buy yourself the best, heaviest speakers that you can afford. I say heavy. If the rule is if you've got any two speakers that spec out the same, go with the heavier one because it means that the magnet is bigger and will move a bigger volume of air. Just saying. And go from there and then just add to your systems wherever you can. And I know somebody's going to say, well, what about Bluetooth, Ray? What about it? What about it? I don't know. It's one of those things. If that's as good as you can get right now, that'll be fine. Where are we now? 8:17 in the Ray Gibson Show. I was going to do weather, but just okay, very, very fast. Mostly sunny today. Highs near 87 degrees. It's going to be hot. Could have some rain and thunderstorms moving in this evening. If they do move in, likely to stick around until Saturday night, maybe even into Sunday. So watch out for that. Sunset tonight is 6:12. Hashtag tell the others and a big kiss to 1974 era Angie Dickinson. I'll be right back.
Want more internet speed, more mobile data, more TV, and more reliable phone service? Introducing the new GTA Choice Bundles. The more you choose, the more you save. And for a limited time, sign up for a new Choice Bundle with home internet service up to Internet 50 and get a free Roku Express. Or Internet 75 or higher and receive a $100 account credit. Visit GTA.net and get more choices, more savings with GTA's Choice Bundles. Conditions apply. See website for details. GTA, we start with you.
The people of Guam are outraged at the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. They are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. This must not be allowed to continue. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and Tony will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Crime prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishment for criminals. This will be justice for all.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
I'm sorry. Donna's like, is that from the same show? Something's different. Her hair is a different color. I'm like, Donna, I wasn't looking at the hair.
Well,
8:18.
I was looking at the same thing you were, and I was a little disappointed, so I looked up.
8:18 on the Ray Gibson Show. What was I supposed to take care of? Portions of the broadcast brought to you by APL. American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And some great news. Some of your favorite flavors are back over at Subway. The new Baja Chicken and Bacon. Loaded with hand-pulled rotisserie-style chicken, hickory smoked bacon. There's a pepper jack cheese. Drizzle the whole thing up with Subway's Baja Chipotle sauce. It's your choice of hand-sliced veggies on fresh baked bread. Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
In 20 minutes, it'll be 20 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. Ray Gibson Show. It's an interesting kind of Friday. Never know where things are going to be going. We've spent a lot of time over the last couple of days talking with Greg from over at Take Care about interesting things that retirees and employees in the government of Guam healthcare system need to know about. Retirees and employees. The deadline for you to select a plan, Take Care, has been extended until October the 10th. In fact, you can get some of that done today. Greg's on the line. Greg, quick update. Everybody needs to show up at the museum today, right?
That's where things are happening, Ray. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. All right, so what do you have the times on that?
Yeah, from 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock. People can come by, get their questions answered, pick up forms, fill out forms, make the change, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Okay, so your people are going to be there. The other guys are going to be there as well. So questions about what's happening with policies, and what about if you're going from one to the other? Tell me about how that's going to impact people that have not necessarily been a part of the Take Care family in the last year or two.
We're trying to make that as seamless as possible. So, for instance, let's say you already have a procedure pre-authorized by Select Care, and you're thinking of switching over to Take Care. We'll honor that prior authorization. You don't have to fill out any more paperwork. if you've got that appointment already set up for a pre-authorized procedure, you just have your doctor send us over that paperwork that they've already done, and you don't have to be worrying about filling more paperwork out to make that transition.
Now, the assumption is going to be, with the different guys, the different carriers, and all the different doctors, that if they're in somebody's network, they're probably in your network as well. But what would happen in that weird circumstance where there was something that was already lined up with somebody that's not in your primary network?
We'll cover that just as though they were in network, but that's that's during the month of October. So if it's happening, if that procedure is being handled in the month of October, we'll honor that.
Gotcha. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot in this interesting. I mean, every year when we do open enrollment for the government of Guam, it always feels like something has changed, and it's changed. Huge tectonic changes. And in this case, one of the major changes that we're talking about is the costs associated with the health care that the government of Guam taxpayers are going to be providing to the employees and retirees. There's a significant difference between one and the other. So I'm urging you again, take a look at the numbers, do the spreadsheet, do the calculations, or show up over at the museum today and have somebody explain the differences. Between the two plans and all the features and benefits, and then make your decision. You'll be able to get it all done today.
Yeah. Just don't go in thinking that just because the cost is so much lower, that means you're going to be shortchanged on the benefits in the network. That's not true at all, and that's why it's so important to do the homework, to come by and have us answer any questions you may have.
Greg, I'm going to let you run. I know how busy it's going to be for you today. We'll talk again Monday, Tuesday.
Thanks a lot, Ray.
Anytime, buddy.
Enjoy the weekend.
It's Oktoberfest, bro. You know where I'm going to be tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Oompa band.
And then my buddy Patrick's got this strongman competition over at Paseo on Sunday. So that might, in effect, be my entire weekend.
Oh, Ray, you're a contestant?
I just need to spend some time at one of those incredible Take Care gyms and get that health app. And maybe next year I'll be a competitor in the Strongest Man competition. 8:23 in the Ray Gibson Show. Funny guy. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Greg. You have a great day. 888-8255-888-TALK. If you're looking for other things to do, there might still be chairs available at where's the place? Capital Kitchen tomorrow night. We had Lee Graham and Valerie in here with Cam talking about the Heroes Night at the Capitol. Immerse in a 5-course dinner. Every course has a different wine paired with it. So from the appetizers all the way up to the dessert, you will be treated to all kinds of different flavors and taste sensations.
Will you make it past the third?
Oh yeah. Well, you have to. Now, and Valerie said this is not a pub crawl. You're just in the same place. You're sitting down eating and that kind of thing. So this is just a responsible way to raise money for USO. Now she said, if you want to, then like if you decide in the second course that you really like that wine. They'll pour that for you for the rest of the night, but you'd be missing out on everything else. So give it a shot. You want details, 483-3092, 483-3092. That's Valerie's phone number, or find anybody over at the USO. So Saturday night over at Capital Kitchen, the Old Papa's in front of the 76 Circle K. 8:25 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Be nice, otherwise I'll bring Trump back. Who's this guy? It's Doctor.
Dr. Ron. Ron
McNinch. Sorry, Doc. That wasn't me, Doc. That was Joe.
Freudian slip.
That was Joe. He's you know why? Because we talked with Peter and Doug last hour.
Hey, happy day, Ray. Happy day, Guam. And I am a named candidate on the ballot.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. in the only race where you can't have write-ins.
That's right. That's right. We don't allow that kind of riffraff in the education board.
That's right. You from the ground up, you got to take all the tests and you got to fill out all the ridiculous Guam Election Commission paperwork. But once you are already accepted and the paperwork is already over at Maria Pangolina's place, by golly, you'll be on the ballot and nobody will be able to say, I think it would be really interesting if Ray Gibson was a part of the ed board here. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to be a part of the educational ed board system now. We just, this seems to be
since John left, the whole procession of problems that keep coming up. There were problems that existed before, but they all seem to be happening at the same time. Issues about deferred maintenance and the ceilings in the schools. We got break-ins. We've got shelter-in-place things going on. And just pick a problem, the Department of Education is plagued with it right now, huh?
Yeah, but Ray, when we have problems, that's when we need you.
I'm here for you
every
day. So since I started in talk radio, I had always suggested that you find groups, organizations, businesses out there that have got the financial wherewithal to help protect our schools by putting up video cameras and surveillance devices and recorders, and then don't tell anybody that they're there. That's the thing. You know, the important part about the security for the schools is these guys that are breaking into the schools should feel like there is a better than 50-50 chance that they might get caught. I mean, are there, even in front of the schools, are there any signs that say this property is patrolled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and video cameras are trained, hidden video cameras everywhere? You don't even need to buy the thing. Just buy the signs. Go find Chris Biacchino over at the printing place and have him make just a whole bunch of signs, drop them off everywhere in the schools, and then these thugs won't know whether or not this is a school that actually has surveillance, that actually has patrols coming to it. I'd also invest in a few signs that say silent attack dogs. They used to do that back in the 70s. They'd take Doberman pinchers and take out the vocal cords. It was kind of, well, this is the 70s. We did all kinds of stuff back then. But, they take the things out so the dogs couldn't bark at you. The only way that you would know that they had attack dogs there was when the dog was already chewing on you.
Speaking of the 70s, you mentioned one of my favorite actresses, Angie Dickinson.
Let me put that picture back up on the screen. Original Cougar, buddy.
About Big Bad Mama.
Oh, God.
One of my favorite movies.
I'm sorry. You're correct. It was one of those things. There were a whole bunch of they would be considered B movies now for sure. But there were a whole bunch of, at the time, high flying actresses that were doing these terrible B movies back in Raquel Welch used to be in some of these movies. They're forgettable plots, but it's Raquel Welch.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Angie Dickinson was it. I mean, really just a absolute star. Absolute. And I love the show Policewoman. You know, they used to have not Rockford Files, it was with Rock Hudson. They used to have these police story dramas every Sunday night. And they would rotate Heck Ramsey and I forgot McMillan and White and all those. I think that Policewoman came out of that genre, and it spun off, or something like that. I think there's some connection there.
Whatever the connection was, it was good, and I think gave a whole lot of men of a certain age at a certain place in their life a reason to watch television, because they're normally you'd get they were all like teenagers and actresses in their 20s, but all of a sudden you have an older woman. It's funny in 2023 to refer to a 43-year-old as an older woman, but that was kind of the big deal with that television show back in the day.
Oh, yeah. And, by the way, I did go to the AG debate yesterday. It was very nicely done by Jerry Ola and the Guam Bar.
Cool.
And Jackie. Just really nice event. And by the way, I know some people might have missed it. I just wanted to mention a couple of actually 3 or 4 little things. I guess Pete Santos was saying he lived in a car and that he was living paycheck to paycheck. And we even pointed out, well, if that were true, how could you spend $21,000 on Facebook ads against Mike Nixon? I mean, it was pretty dang funny.
I had to fight with my siblings for food, and what I was able to get, I then have to fight with the dogs for the food. It's a walk uphill in the snow both ways for school, that kind of thing.
Right, and then Doug Moylan, Attorney General Moylan, spoke about just how he would have probably done things differently, and how I think he was basically saying he's older and wiser. He has a very different perspective now in terms of how he would approach things, and how he I guess the shorthand would be for lessons learned and how he'd be more efficient, which I thought was really a neat angle he has certainly for the race.
Well, you and I, had been there. You doing talk radio while Doug Moylan was exercising the independence of the office, and it just seemed at every turn there was an opportunity for friction with the governor's office. So to hear that they've turned a corner on that, They've buried the hatchet and are ready to start kind of a new relationship. I just thought that was kind of an interesting deal because there's always a possibility that Felix Camacho might be the next governor of Guam and Doug Moylan might be the next attorney general of Guam. And I would hope that it would not be a replay of all of the difficulties that they initially had back in the 2000s.
Yeah, it sounds like they certainly both discussed these things. But also the other thing, I guess, related to, when Moylan first became Attorney General, was that he had to establish the office and the functions and traditions of an independent AG's office.
Correct.
And that's a growing pain. Labor. That's actually the equivalent of bureaucratic going through labor, because you're giving birth to a whole new set of ways of doing things, and it's just hard to. And each attorney general has had to struggle with that tension where they're constantly being, people in other places like the executive or legislature will constantly try to order the attorney general around.
Yeah.
And the attorney general then has to push back and say, no, we're an independent office and, we need to be objective. And so there's always that back and forth. And I did agree that there was a contrast between, I guess, what Moylan was talking about with a people-centered approach versus a government official-centered approach. That is, he believed that Moylan believed that the other two candidates were trying to represent government officials, and that his role was to represent the people of Guam, which I thought was a nice contrast.
Well, it's an interesting time, and maybe a Balikbayan candidate like Doug Moylan still has a few tricks up his sleeves. We got a big problem with crime and the justice system around here, and there needs to be some very, very serious work and attention getting done on this. Just every day, the magistrate reports are all saying the same thing. Crystal methamphetamine leads to about 90% of the cases that we are looking at: criminal sexual conduct cases, family violence cases. You might not see it a whole lot in the magistrate. You just read about a guy that come home after a bad day and got into a fight with the wife. What you might not see that you will see in the magistrate reports and other narratives that I'm being exposed to in the grand jury is just how much ICE is factoring in all of these cases. And now we got the guy down at Paseo with his butane. This is not a safe island by any stretch these days. And we know what the problems are. We know who the people are. We just got to empower the right guys to go out there and do that clean sweep of this town. 8:34, Doc, I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Oh, and I am a named candidate.
Thank
you.
Yes, Dr. Ron McNitch for the Ed Board. It's 8:34 on the Ray Gibson Show. Kenley and Guerrero, not to... is the word I'm looking for here. We're not, trying to one-up each other, but he says, I see your Angie Dickinson. I will raise you now, Diana Rigg.
Ooh.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm sorry, the late Diana Rigg, but she was on a television show called The Avengers back in the 1960s. And I don't even know what that show was about, but they had this delicious eye candy. And even when I was a little kid, I understand what the value was of a beautiful woman like Diana Rigg. So, yep, but you know what? And I'm happy to play this game all day. I'm absolutely happy to play this game all day. If there's anybody else that we all had little boy crushes on in the 1960s and 70s, send me links to big pictures so I can put them up on the screen. Oh, Farrah. Yeah. But the original Charlie's Angels, any of the Jiggle actors, and if you recall, that was a whole genre of female acting that came out in the 1970s. That everybody had a certain amount of jiggle going on the screen, and they certainly had their fair share on that show. Three's Company, you remember Three's Company? I don't understand the plot of that show either, but there was jiggling going on that one as well. Yeah. Bo Derek.
Oh, my.
Yeah, she was only in what,
10,
that one?
Right?
She was in that one movie?
With
and then little Tommy.
She played the wicked stepmother, little Tommy. All right, I got to run. 8:36 on the Ray Gibson Show. You have a fantastic weekend, Doc. Oktoberfest tomorrow at the spot. Tell your wife you're going to be with me. Ray Gibson Show will continue with our last big look at news and headlines with Donna D after these messages.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
Subway's Eat Fresh, Refresh chicken choices have so much. How are we going to fit them all in one commercial?
Subway's new Baja Chicken and Bacon is loaded with hand-pulled rotisserie-style chicken, hickory smoked bacon, sprinkled with spicy buttery pepper jack cheese, and drizzled with Subway's Baja Chipotle sauce. Man, this is making me hangry.
And get this, Subway's Chicken Bacon Ranch is stuffed with melted Monterey cheddar cheese, tender all-white meat chicken on your choice of fresh hand-sliced veggies and freshly baked bread. You pick the tagline.
At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Man, it feels good this Friday. It feels like Friday, right? No frowny face stuff going on? Yeah. No, everybody's in like a really, really groovy mood. I wish it was like this every day. Every day should feel like today. Every day we should have the next day off. We ought to, yeah. Got Donna's attention. Yes, I kind of like that idea. And they're doing that in some places where you got, 3 days on, 2 days off. I'm sorry, 3 days in the office, 2 days where you can, quote, hybrid.
That's why you got to vote Blu-ray.
Situations like that. I don't know. I don't know that I can do. We've already had this conversation before, and truth of the matter is, even though I am surrounded by technology that would allow me to do this broadcast from anywhere on the planet in any time zone, I don't want to. I'd rather be here. I want to like hang out with you. It's not like if I do the show at the house, you know who I would be looking at and talking to like this. The cat. The one-eyed cat. The one-eyed cat never gets as excited about things.
You're a little better than the one-eyed cat, Joe.
You're really step above, and that's it. That would be the extent of the audience. Frankly, I like playing for the crowd. I always go for your laughs, and I always try to make Donna D make funny noises. It's 8:38, and about time for our last big look at news and headlines. She's been practicing all morning. Donna, what happened?
34-year-old Frank Borja Nicholas Jr., who was busted for a string of burglaries in Petey, including multiple break-ins to Jose Rios Middle School, a GDOE food warehouse, and a residence, has returned at least one item stolen from a classroom out of remorse. Police say St. Nicholas returned a speaker from the July 25 burglary on the windowsill of a classroom because he felt bad. Authorities claim St. Nicholas also confessed to breaking into the Petey residence, stealing security cameras and a phone charger, which he sold earlier this week. And at the Pacific Island Country Summit in Washington, D.C. yesterday, Presidential Special Envoy for Climate and former Secretary of State John Kerry acknowledged that the Pacific Islands are on the front lines of the climate crisis and pledged America's full support. The focus of much of yesterday's summit meeting was the critical issue of climate change. Governor Lilian Guerrero is also attending the summit, which concludes today. And lawmakers are set to vote on bills that range from allowing the sale of cannabis-infused products and the raising of wild deer as livestock to renaming Route 4 as the Seven Heroes of Molesso Highway. Lawmakers will also vote to override the governor's veto of Bill 11. The measure would require legislative review for the extension of the state of public health emergency. The September session resumes at 4 o'clock this afternoon at the Guam Congress Building. Session will be broadcast on local TV and streamed on the Guam Legislature Media YouTube channel. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Back to Ray.
Gotcha. Patricia talking about talk about the future zombie apocalypse. The zombies are those on drugs, and we just live with it because there's so much of it going on. It's kind of true, isn't it? It's the drugs, alcohol. I made a joke the other day because I was checking out that one of the magistrate reports, and the guy got pulled over by the cop. Have you been drinking? Just 3 natural ice.
And I don't.
Honesty.
I'm just saying I'm not going to marketing genius or something like that. But I would say that for a certain demographic in this town, that's their beer of choice. I was watching a guy, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, walking down the road. He was a Roy T. Demion. And he was walking down the road. What is walking is maybe that's not the
skills of a toddler walking. Maybe?
Yeah, kind of stumbling. The head and body not quite moving in the same kind of direction. We've all been there. We understand. And in one hand he had a can of natural ice, and in his other hand. Because maybe that's what it was. He was off balance. He got the can of ice in one hand, but he had the rest of the 12-pack in the other.
Yeah, the balance.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it was. You have a couple of these things. Now, I got to check. What is the alcohol by volume content of natural ice?
25%. Right?
Oh, get out of here. That's way too much.
Josh.
You're joshing. Although I will say that there is a beer. Is it the Pops something? I had it at Saks yesterday.
Red Horse.
No, it's not a Red Horse.
It's 5.9% for natural ice.
5.9.
But it's so smooth, and it goes down so easy.
That's the thing. That's a creeper. We call that a creeper in our business.
Smooth, refreshing taste. And clean finish.
So, and apparently, as I said, there's a population around here that can't get enough of that stuff. But the problem is, after they've had 4 or 5 of them at almost 6% alcohol by volume, they're incapable of doing anything, apparently, other than fighting and stabbing each other and hitting each other with machetes. But everybody's got different plans for the weekend. That's theirs. So it's just if you've ever wondered, wow, who's drinking all of this stuff? Now you know. And they are among the zombies that are kind of walking around in the villages and the neighborhoods. 888-825-588-TALK. It's 8:43 in the morning. What was I supposed to do here? Is that supposed something like I'll be right back?
Yeah,
because she's done with the headlines, and we'll yak about some other stuff next.
Half a day. This is Claire Manglona from Security Title. A power of attorney can be a useful tool in a real estate transaction, but if abused, it can result in devastating loss. Choosing your representative should be done with the utmost care and should be very specific about the powers being granted. To mitigate loss, the team at Security Title confirms with the owner prior to using a power of attorney to sell the property. Each transaction is unique. Let the professionals at Security Title use our experience to facilitate a secure closing. We are here to help.
In a world where our cuisines unite, the Colonel has joined together your favorite extra crispy KFC fried chicken with an authentic hot and sweet Korean glaze, bringing you KFC's Korean fried chicken for a limited time.
It's back here on Guam. Try KFC's Korean fried chicken and also available in Korean hot chicken wings. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Roger that. 8:44 on the Ray Gibson Show. Portions brought to you by the guys over at Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners. Oh, that's nice. Got a note from a friend of mine. Wants to get together later. Might have a promotion that he wants us to be involved with. All right, I'll work on all of that. I'll put on my manager hat later on in the broadcast. Now, a guy that today is probably wearing nothing but a manager hat is Brother Patrick Lujan. He's with a website called GSPN. They are like they are the Candid of sports. You want to describe it that way? You want to go in that direction? Pat. Yeah, Brother Pat's on the line.
Is that the relation, the Candid of sports?
I'm going to say, well, yeah. I mean, you guys are. I mean, if you want to know what's going on in sports on Guam, you go to GSPN. If you want to know what's going on really in news on Guam, then and in Saipan, then you go to Candid.
Right on.
They've gotten.
Okay, I'll take that.
Buddy, it's a compliment. A high-end compliment to you.
Ray, before we talked about the event this Sunday, right? We were reminiscing on your program a couple of days ago, and I was thinking, I said, you know what? Growing up, me and the real Joe Cruz, when he was known as Joey Cruz at that time, there were 3 guys that I really wanted to hear on the radio. It was Ray Gibson, J.Q. Fanihi, and the late Uncle Toting. And just to hear you and now known as Jerry Roberts, but I still call him J.Q. Fanihi. It's good to reminisce, and I mean, that's history, right? Guam radio history with you guys working together. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you very much. High praise and indeed, and it's also, I'm gonna throw this back at you. I remember when we had first started the Pacific News Center and the evening news at Sorensen Media Group years ago. All of a sudden, there's a guy, and I'd known him obviously. There's Patrick Lawton, and Patrick's I know as Joyce's brother, right? That's how I knew. That's how I knew Patrick. But he started doing sports there, but he didn't do sports like everybody else had done sports for a millennia before. He made it a point to focus on the athletes, not so much the game. And yeah, it's always good when you can be there for the winning touchdown and all that stuff. But you spend a lot of time focusing on the athletes and telling their stories, which meant that them and their families and friends were huddled in front of the television for sports that night to see what Patrick had ended up writing about him and the game and the sport and the athlete and all of that. Nobody had done that before, and I think that's one of the things that set you apart from everybody else in the sport game was your focus on the athlete.
Yeah, and it boils down to the passion for sports, but really, focusing on behind the game, right? All the hours of preparation, all the hours of practice that these athletes go through, right? Just that 15 seconds of fame goes a long way, and just to let the people know that what they've worked towards, right? And you're looking at 9 athletes that have been preparing for a long time for Sunday's event to who's going to be Guam's strongest man and strongest woman. It's promoting these athletes and all that exercise, all the practice, all the strength conditioning that they put through just to showcase and perform, when it comes to game time.
One of the things that occurred to me as I was watching some of these events last week was how long they could last. This won't make any sense to you unless you were there last year or you're going to be there on Sunday going, oh, this is what he meant. And a lot of times you think about strength training and, okay, I'm going to lift this and I'm going to put it over my head and I'm going to put it down. Okay, done. Done. Finished. Okay, unwrap the hands, do all of that stuff. But in a lot of cases here, these are strength training exercises that are repeated, or you are moving from one side of the field to the other. It's not one of these, fast twitch muscle deals. I mean, you're using everything over an extended period of time, and some of these events will run a minute or two.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, just talking about that, you have the tombstone carry that's coming up, right? Sponsored by Paradise Fitness. The apparatus is probably 130, 150 pounds for a strong person. That maybe is not too heavy, but walk 300 feet with that and see what happens. Yeah. So it makes a difference when you add the challenge portion of it.
You go to the gym and they say, okay, well there's the wheel, the big tire, flip that thing over, and you flip that thing over. I'm done. But in the tire flip that these guys do, you got to flip the tire from this end all the way over there and then back.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's untraditional, right? And very unique challenges, and the thing is, it's really fun for the crowd too, right? You look at some other sports and it could be a little boring or what have you, but man, with these guys going on and the whole crowd gets into it and gets, you don't even need, like I said the other day, you don't even need to know who these people are. You're just excited and cheering them on.
You will know them like you know your own smell by the time this thing is done. That is also one of the most positive events that I have ever attended, a positive athletic event that I've ever attended. There is so much love from one. We called them competitors, but I never really got to feel like they were competing with each other as much as they were encouraging each other. So somebody having a hard time, you get these guys that are like, man, I want to help. I want to help him, but you can't because, there's a clock running and it is kind of a competition. But there's no trash talk that I recall. Everybody in the crowd is pulling for everybody, and the disappointment is it's got to come down to just one guy and one girl. But my recollection of the crowd last year was that they just absolutely were in awe of all of the competitors in all of the events. And we're going to be doing it again come Sunday at noon over at the Paseo.
Yeah, come on by. It's open to the public. You know, that one area by the boat basin where the canoe hut is, that area will be blocked off, obviously, for the cars because of the competition. So you'll go around as far as like the Statue of Liberty area, and then come back around. So you know, utilize the parking on the other side of the baseball stadium. Make a trek across on the back side of the outfield fence, and find a spot and have a good time.
I was going to say, can I bring my my little pop-up tent?
Yeah, bring it. We'll find a spot. You know, I know what Ray's going to be wearing. You know, I
short shorts, bro. I got. They're like cami. They're like cami short shorts.
I'm going to bring him on a paddleboard.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, park over by the sewer station there and paddle in. That'll be cool.
I got you. 851 and change. Bring some folding money, food, drinks, etc. Is all going to be out there. So make sure that you've got an opportunity to buy something from the TASA guys to support their activities. They're among the primary beneficiaries of all of this.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, Sunday, you know, the second You Must Met Good competition. Find out who's the Guam strongest man and woman, presented by the Guam Army National Guard. Be there. Have a good time. We'll see you there.
I got you. Brother Patrick, you have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. I got my chair. Going to have the cooler, the tent, umbrella, I don't know, maybe another pair of shorts just in case.
Jump into the water.
I don't know, dude, but your mom's going to be there, so maybe not. Oh my God! It's such a family affair. Oh my God!
It is.
Did Jason tell you we hooked up the other night? I mean, we didn't hook up. We just hang out together. I love Fridays. Don't you love Fridays? I love Fridays. All right, buddy. I'm gonna let you go because I know how busy you are. You have a great day.
I'll see you Sunday.
You know what? It's 8:52 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Lunch to come. We get Arbor. What is the name of the thing? The guys are coming in. Arbor something. Tree dudes.
Yeah.
We got a big tree celebration thing coming up.
They're doing no.
Did you find
Toys for Tots?
Oh, I don't remember. I
think it's Toys for Tots.
It could be both of them. No, I think maybe that's the 940 thing I was talking about. I don't know. Oh. All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will.
One of us will. It's just that it's the whole Friday thing, and I'm not saying that I'm beginning to run out of juice here, because I'm not totally. It's just every once in a while I gotta go back into my head and say, okay, where did I want to go today? 8:53 in the morning. Thanks for the meme. 797-8255, 797-8255. Got a picture of this one. I like it. My reaction to literally everything right now, and it's Christopher Walken making that face, and you know exactly which face it is. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The conversations that have taken place around the national, international news scene and things like that, and you're just kind of okay. What's the outrage going to be next? You ever just wonder? You know how to find out real quick?
How?
Twitter.
Yeah.
Go to Twitter, find out something on Twitter, and you will find the outrage there. Today, there might likewise also be some outrage floating around. They have decided what they're going to do here is we are going to have a vote at the legislature. Now, there's a couple of interesting votes that are coming up over at the legislature. One of them will restore the ability for retailers to be able to sell cannabis or CBD or whatever, infused products, as it were. They will have the opportunity to get that again. I'm surprised, sorta, at how quickly it happened. This is the way the government, the legislature, can work when they want to. Right? When they can see very quickly the handwriting on the wall and the consequences for the lack of action in something like infused CBD, whatever, THC products, right? Because we've already decided that Guam is cool with medicinal marijuana. Guam is cool with recreational marijuana. They passed that over at the legislature on their own. Most places go to a plebiscite for something like that. So we got the cannabis rules and regulations out there, and there was at least one hiccup that was identified early, and that was guys over at Public Health said, our read on the current law is that you aren't able to do that. Might be provided for in the cannabis rules and regulations, but it is not provided for here in the law. So you guys got to change the law. It didn't take any more than, a week and a half
All of a sudden, there was new language, new statute that had been written. Then they had a public hearing over at the legislature, and that wasn't that long ago. It was, in my mind, just a few days ago, where Janae and Kevin and Bistra and TJ and a bunch of other people were hanging out over at the legislature, trying to convince them, okay, let's do this. Hey, and while we're doing this, let's take a look at some of the other things like labs and testing requirements. But this is the speed with which they've worked it now. So from the inception of the issue to the creation of the legislation and public hearing, and then the steps after that are, all right, we're going to send this to a committee. So you remember that stand your ground legislation?
I do.
That was in committee for about ever. Here's another example of legislation that seems to be stymied in the committee. And that would be the Heartbeat Act that folks, the anti-abortion, pro-life people have been talking about for some time. That's still in committee. And why has it not come out of committee? Well, they don't want to work on that fast. We're okay with this thing with the CBD-infused whatevers. We're good with that. And we already know that there's a whole lot of people that really like the idea of this. And it's something that we can all say as we are running for re-election, except the primary mover of the legislature, which is Clint Rigel, who is not running for a job in the legislature next year. God bless you, buddy. But he's decided that I'm just going to sit the next couple of years out over here and see what happens. But everybody else now will get to say, as they're knocking on your door and humbly asking for your vote, that we took care of you and we took care of your Nana and we made it so that, yes, you would be able to have your gummies and your CBD things. And we worked on this so unbelievably fast, less than a month, I think, from beginning to end. And now, bang, new legislation. Governor's going to come back. It's going to hit her desk. And I think it's going to pass unanimously over at the legislature. So done is done on this thing. When the legislature wants to move quickly, man, they can get that done. Now, they can also be somewhat repetitive. One of the other bills that's going to get voted on today is a bill that originally passed at the legislature. Passed by 8, and it went to the governor's office, and she vetoed it on site, and that would be bill number 11 that would provide the opportunity for the legislature to have some say in the extension of the public health emergency. So they've decided that they're going to put that back on the ballot. Now, I don't know that they will get any more than the same 8 people that voted for it last time. In which case, they're not going to be able to override the veto. Frankly, I'm surprised they're talking about it now. Normally, the way I would do it is I wouldn't even discuss it unless I knew I had the votes, not just to get it back on the floor, but to get it all the way to Adelup and let Lou know that, we've got 10 now. We've got the 10 votes, so we've overridden your veto. So I don't know if they've got that nose count done over at the legislature, or they're just using it as an example to give Lou a hard time because, there's a general election coming up, which is why the Heartbeat Act isn't coming out of committee anytime soon. In 39 days from today, there will be the general election. In 11 days from today, you will be able to go out there and do your early voting over at the Western Resort and Spa, and they don't want to be anywhere near as controversial an issue as the one that is brought in with the Heartbeat bill. We already know how the governor feels about it. We already know how certain members of the legislature feel about it. And we know how a significant chunk of the community feel about it. But that's not enough, you see, to get the legislature moving with the kind of speed and alacrity that we've seen on the gummy bear deals. 888-8255. Keep that in mind. Bunch of stuff to talk about. Bunch of people to talk to in the next hour of the program. Something you want me to riff on, something you want me to talk about, send it up on the Facebook Live, send it up on the YouTube Live, or send it to me in meme form, 797-8255. Yes, we take requests that way as well. Why don't you stand by? Coming your way about 10-15 seconds, going to be Fox News. Stick around, Brown.
This is a Fox News alert. A second landfall expected. I'm Lisa Lacera. Forecasters say Ian is now a Category 1 hurricane as it heads towards the coast of South Carolina.
It's going to continue to pull off towards the northeast immediately and then take a left-hand hook. By sometime early tomorrow afternoon, expect to see a landfall of probably a Category 1 hurricane somewhere here in the Carolina coastline. Wherever it comes on shore, we'll likely see around 4 to 7 feet of storm surge. That's going to cause some immediate problems on the coastline. Eventually, pulls in throughout areas of South Carolina, North Carolina, in towards West Virginia, and we're going to see a lot of rainfall across a lot of area here.
Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth, the mayor of Charleston, South Carolina, is asking that the city shut down tomorrow. Ian came ashore on the Gulf Coast of Florida yesterday as a Category 4 storm with 150-mile-per-hour winds that ties it for the 5th strongest hurricane ever to hit the U.S.
The numbers are staggering. More than 2.6 million Floridians without electricity. Rainfall totals approaching 2 feet in some places. Heavy winds, severe flooding, and 6-foot-high storm surge. Search operations, damage assessments, and power restoration all well underway, especially in hardest-hit Southwest Florida.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Charlotte County, Florida. President Biden's already authorized federal disaster aid for the state.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The numbers are still unclear, but we're hearing early reports of what may be substantial loss of life.
Ian has flooded homes on both the state's coast and cut off the bridge to Sanibel Island. The Coast Guard has begun rescue efforts on barrier islands near where Ian struck. Russian President Vladimir Putin has recognized the independence of 2 more Ukrainian regions, the precursor to their annexation by Russia. America is listening to Fox News.
Want more internet speed, more mobile data, more TV, and more reliable phone service? Introducing the new GTA Choice Bundles. The more you choose, the more you save. And for a limited time, sign up for a new Choice Bundle with home internet service up to Internet 50 and get a free Roku Express. Or Internet 75 or higher and receive a $100 account credit. Visit GTA.net and get more choices, more savings with GTA's Choice Bundles. Conditions apply. See website for details. GTA, we start with you.
Attention contractors and future homeowners. Come and network with Guam's construction industry at the 2022 GCA Construction Industry Trade Fair and Expo, happening September 29th and 30th at the FD Phoenix Center in Manilao. Doors open from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. on both days, and admission is free. With over 50 exhibitors, your time will be well spent looking at new products and services, whether you're a contractor or future homeowner. For more information, contact GCA at 671-647-4840.
The CDC says the monkeypox vaccine appears to protect against the disease.
CDC officials are urging those who are at risk of becoming infected with monkeypox to be vaccinated against it. And they're calling for people who have had 1 dose of the vaccine to make sure they get a 2nd dose for full protection. The White House says about 800,000 first and 2nd doses of the vaccine have been administered nationwide to people who are considered high risk for becoming infected with the virus. While there is no scientifically conclusive data to prove the effectiveness of the vaccine, real-world figures from the CDC show that unvaccinated men aged 18 to 49 were 14 times as likely to become infected with monkeypox as those who had 1 dose at least 2 weeks earlier. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The family of a Maryland woman who was killed in 1999 will appeal a Baltimore judge's ruling to overturn the conviction of Adnan Syed, the man in prison for decades for the death of Hae Min Lee. Syed, whose case was examined in the podcast Serial, was released earlier this month. Young Lee, the victim's brother, has filed a notice of appeal claiming violations of the family's right to meaningfully participate in the hearing. A fitness equipment maker will be selling some of its products for the first time at brick-and-mortar shops.
Peloton Interactive will be selling its original bike and tread, as well as equipment and accessories, at more than 100 Dick's Sporting Goods stores and on its website. Its products are expected to be available in Dick's locations early in the holiday season, and deliveries will be fulfilled by Peloton's traditional in-home delivery and setup. The partnership comes as Peloton has been struggling to expand its customer base, which ballooned during the pandemic. However, Dick's isn't the only company to join forces with Peloton this year. In August, the fitness company struck a partnership with Amazon to sell its products.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
All too often, governments do too little in some areas, but too much in others. The Camacho Ada team wants GovGuam to provide basic services and otherwise stay out of people's lives. Government overreach will not happen in the Camacho Ada administration. And they believe in 3 co-equal branches of government, not having one exert power over the others. For more on Felix and Tony's plans for government services, visit CamachoAdaForGuam.com.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
It's not an accident to live a healthy, long life. It's a choice. The food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe. A deep, restful sleep along with exercise will put you on a good path to live a healthier, longer life. At NutriWay Systems, we choose to help people find the right solutions to live a longer, healthier life. Make the right choice. NutriWay Systems. Come by our office today. We are located on the 2nd floor of the Daily Plaza in Dededo, or give us a call at 671-864-7867.
6 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show. A portion is brought to you by APL, American President Lines. Global presence with a local home, also being brought to you by the team over at Chili's. Still loving the dynamic duos there. $29.99. Choose any 2 incredible options. Margarita grilled chicken, country fried chicken crispers, 6-ounce sirloin, savory ancho salmon, or Cajun shrimp. For a few bucks more, upgrade to a 10-ounce sirloin. Their incredible ribeyes or their incredible fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs at Chili's. More life and great value happens there.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
After 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to call that Beyond the Box time. And I got a note from my girl, my lady friend over at Beyond the Box, and the watches are in. They've got the Apple Watch SEs in now, 44 millimeters for $329, and you can get the 40 miller for $299. And I want to say that they all should be capable of running the new iOS 9 for the Apple Watch phone, which is absolutely fantastic. A lot of new features that they've got in there. There's an oximeter, an oximeter.
Yeah,
you remember when that was
levels?
Yeah, you remember when that was a big deal at COVID time? People were just falling over
dying,
dead. Yeah, because they didn't know what their oxygen
they
was.
Need the watch.
Yeah, and so you get a watch, and you press a button, and about 20 seconds later, it tells you. It tells you. But it's weird because the numbers will fluctuate. You played around with the oximeters before, right? So the oximeter will work like this. It's like the range of good numbers is like 95, 96, 97, and anything less than that, you're probably dead. So it's one of those things where you're sitting there counting down, going, I hope this gives me a good number back because I don't need to spend the day over at the hospital. We got pictures here of the 44 millimeter and the 40 millimeter, and I want to say, for those of you that made an investment in Apple Watch bands a few years ago, I want to say now that they will fit. They will fit. It won't be a perfect fit, but you can make them fit. Now that's one of the things. The Watch SEs, the Ultras are in. They have now the Apple Ultra Watch. Now this is the kind of thing that they give Marines and Navy SEALs and all of that kind of thing because it's supposed to be uber rugged, more sophisticated technology, and more buttons that you can push, more noises that it makes. This is the kind of you want to climb Everest. That's the watch that you want to go with. Now I'll tell you the price. Because I just want you to know, I don't want you to get sticker shock when you go in there. $929, but it's worth it. It is completely worth it. Take it for a test drive. Go to the Apple website and find out why you want more than anything else under the Christmas tree this year an Apple Watch Ultra. And if you're just looking for your basic, hey, can I just have a basic Watch 8? Yes, you can. 45 millimeter, 41 millimeters, and you can get the Apple Series 8 out there, and it's all upgraded and new and a bunch
bunch of different sensors that you can get around and play with. Go to Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall, and then they will get all of that going for you. 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. You might have heard but one of the most delightful voices ever in the history of broadcast radio, and that would be Catherine Castro from over at the Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning.
You have been. She's actually in the studio this time, which is absolutely awesome. You'll find out in just a second. But you guys have been busy. I mean, there have been all kinds of like gala activities going on and meetings. You just had the new guy from the new admiral was down there the other day.
Yes, that's right. He was very comprehensive. It was just really a good meeting,
as it should be, because there's all this saber rattling going on with China and North Korea out there, and they're all in cahoots with the Russians, and who knows what the hell the Russians are up to, and who took out the Nord Stream, who took out the gas pipeline. Inquiring minds want to know. There's another interesting case, but vital to hear about the plans that are in the works right now to provide a significant amount of defensive capability, 360-degree, 24-hour day, 7-day protection for the entire island of Guam, not just the military, but for everybody around here. And I'm delighted to hear more and more of those kinds of stories, but also the incredible amount of military construction expenditures that are going to be taking place. When you and I were in high school, they started talking about the military buildup and moving Marines from Okinawa. You remember that? I was the quarterback for the school football team, and she was the head cheerleader. And they were talking about this big military buildup, and now we're a little bit older. Yeah. But it seems never to end. I mean, you guys got an earful on that the other day too.
I mean, it's fantastic. We were looking at about $2 billion a year
$2 billion
for the next
a year
7 years.
Yes.
And then beyond that, we've got
the steady state.
Yes, exactly. So, this is exciting times for us, right? And this is what we've been talking about. And this is why we're at the Chamber, we've got all these great partnerships with the Trades Academy, with GCC.
Well, GCA's got their thing over at Father Duenas today.
Yes, exactly. And so this is a time when we want to make sure that everybody is skilled, that they've got opportunities for various kinds of jobs, not just like,
service industry jobs.
Yeah,
they're going to be some
more.
significant. Well, just start talking to the guys about the kind of technology that runs through Guam, all those undersea cables and things like that. These can be very, very exciting times if we all get our heads together and figure out how to do this. If you got kids, there's two thoughts that I have in my head about what kind of career goals they should have. One of them is do anything with IT. If you can get somebody the IT skills, and they're practically giving them away at GCC, then they will be able to work anywhere, and hopefully they'd be able to turn those certifications into high-paying jobs right here on Guam. And the other one is any job that requires you to wear scrubs.
Amen.
Any job that requires you to wear scrubs. Those are all high-paying jobs. There's not enough of them. 9:13 in the morning, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I'd mentioned the Marines because I wanted to, let the guy, let him to be acknowledged. I have a Marine in the studio. I'm safe, like I'm in God's pocket, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, don't tell him I got that SEAL Team 7 coin the other. Did you bring a coin for me?
I did not bring a coin.
They did not.
Oh my gosh, I don't have coins right now.
They don't? No, okay, so wait a second. Sergeant Stripes, correct?
Gunnery Sergeant.
Gunnery Sergeant.
Yes.
Oh, you're the good one then.
Morning, Gunny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not going to call him Gunny.
Come on, man.
That had to stop being funny 20 years ago. But Gunnery Sergeant. What's your name?
Ruben Tan.
Ruben Tan. We've met before, haven't we?
Yes.
You were here last year. Oh, that's why. Okay. Well, I haven't seen you since then. What you been up to?
Playing a lot of tennis, actually.
Really?
I found the tennis community on Guam.
They are terrific people. Are you playing against the old guys? There's a weekday morning thing I want to say over at the Hilton. Go and find. I think Ernie's there and Dave Alcorn and some of his guys. They all hang out there, and they're surprisingly good for their age.
They play like every day.
Every day.
Like many hours.
Well, look it up. There used to be a guy, I want to say his name was Peter Burwash, and Peter Burwash did a book called Tennis for Life. And that's the great thing about it, is you can start off as a kid, 7, 8 years old, just hitting the ball at the court, just going back and forth and doing all of that. And you don't even have to be good, but there's a lot of reasons to love the game of tennis, the way that we're playing it these days. And there's a lot, as you said, there's a great community of tennis players that we've got here here on Guam. Great fellowship. I imagine that the time on the court, wonderful as it is, might be a good competition for the time in between games and all the conversations that you have. Cool. Now you play a Marine version of tennis, then, right?
I just hit it hard, you know.
As hard as I possibly can. Well, that's cool. Any other Marines that go out there with you, or are you just kind of a lone ranger?
Unfortunately, I'm the only one. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what are the rest of them doing?
They do hikes. They're on the beach.
I see them on the beach.
Yeah.
I see them on the beach. A bunch of games that I can't quite figure out. You're a young Marine type. Maybe you can tell me about it. It's a thing. It looks like a little trampoline.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of guys, and you hit the ball, and it goes in the center of the trampoline, and somebody else got to do the thing. And there's this whole back and forth. And you can play that right up until you've had 2 or 3 seltzers, and then you cannot play it anymore. But my thing is, I don't even understand the concept behind the game. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's spike ball. It's just like volleyball.
Spike ball.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's no net, and you can play it in a fairly close radius.
Correct.
Of each other, and a bunch of guys, right? It can be 1 or 2. I've seen 3 or 4, 5, 6 guys that were playing this game out there, and it looks like it's just a riot of a good time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard as well.
So did you think that you were going to be on Guam this long?
I knew I was going to be out here for the next 3 years. So I actually have 2 more years left out here.
I got you. Okay, so I got you when you were brand new on Guam.
Correct.
Okay, so you get a house and a Jeep and all the other stuff. have you gone native yet?
I haven't got my Jeep yet, but I did buy a Corolla.
There we go. Nice. They'll be Ernie will be happy to hear that. Okay, gotcha. 9:16. So we'll reprise the conversation that we had last year to a degree, and that is thanks very much for coming to Guam. Thank you, Marines, for coming to Guam and bringing us a whole other venue and a whole nother vehicle for community service, and that is Toys for Tots. Now, we're not quite even at Halloween, but it's important to start thinking about the Christmas holidays and different members of our community that sure could use a hand and some help for moms and dads that are otherwise might not be working as much as they were this time last year, the year before, might not have the kind of hours that they used to have. It's a big problem that we talk about over in chamber meetings. So folks are in need, and a growing number today in need. How will the Toys for Tots program, how has the Toys for Tots program evolved to meet those challenges?
The Marine Corps has been on island for a very long time. We have a really rich history. With
1899.
Yeah. But I want to really give thanks to Catherine with the chamber. She's the one who really brought Toys for Tots on island and helped us, start doing the process to figure out how do we get Toys for Tots that we have every year to Guam. And we're able to do that, and this year's actually going to be our 13th year. So we're really happy to do that. This is going to be my 2nd year doing Toys for Tots.
What a thing. Now I've seen some Toys for Tots activities already taking place out there, right? I mean, some scrimmages in front of grocery stores and places like that where people can start, buying stuff and whatever for the kids.
Oh, we're actually starting that next week.
Okay,
next
so
week
maybe I might be thinking about another organization also working around the holidays for kids and families. Okay, so what's your first big deal that's coming up? You said you're going to be starting next weekend?
Yes, next week on Monday.
Okay.
It's actually October 3rd is when we're going to begin dropping off boxes.
Aha!
And this year we're actually able to bring back the high school challenge. So we're actually having youth donate to youth. So each high school is going to have the opportunity to donate toys, and we're going to see who could donate the most.
Is that done in other Toys for Tots Marine places?
A couple of places do it. Yes.
Okay, all right. So we've got a little bit of experience getting that done. So high school students, I got a daughter that's a senior in high school, and they have had their challenges over the course of the last couple of years with COVID. Ask any mom or dad, they'll tell you, hey, how was it sophomore year? Well, sophomore year was okay. I was in the living room most of that year. That was better than freshman year when I was in the bedroom most of the time. But now they're back to school and having meetings and organizations and groups, and they're looking for things like this because you just can't be tapped anymore to be in the valedictorian and whatever programs. You got to get involved in the community. So if you got youngsters asking about some of the things that they might be able to volunteer for, this sounds like a great idea. Number one, an opportunity to help out, an opportunity to win in your high school challenge, and a great opportunity. And I'm going to throw this out here. We were talking about the different jobs that you can get, IT jobs, jobs and anything where you require scrubs. But I am of the mind that there are many young people who ought to be looking at a career in the military, even just a few years. You get in there, get a few stripes, get some experience under your belt, and all kinds of self-discipline, self-control. And then the cool thing about the military is they'll teach you stuff. Like this guy here is Officer Tanner. He knows how to blow things up. All Marines learn how to do that. But at the end of all of this, as a gunnery sergeant, you've also got a growing body of management skills that you might not necessarily have had before you joined the Marines, and that stays with you all your life. But one of these days, you're going to be GI Bill, and Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam's misguided children will pay for your college education.
Correct.
We don't. Yeah. Kids need to know this stuff. I mean, you'd be in exchange for a couple of years in a uniform and serving your country and serving different communities. There's an opportunity there for you guys to go out there and learn all kinds of stuff. And never mind whether Joe Biden's going to take care of your tuition. The Uncle Sam will take care of that. And you can talk to kids about doing those kinds of things. So the drop boxes start going out Monday, as you say. And do we already have a list of places where the drop boxes are going to be?
There's a whole list of places, and there's more. Usually as we go through the program and we talk about it, more and more businesses call and say, hey, we want to be participating in this. So we've got a whole bunch of members and non-members.
Well, I imagine that there might be some retail places, obviously, that are going to have a lot of drop boxes. So you buy whatever it is and then put it in the drop box and then take off. But there are probably also going to be a bunch of offices where the staff's going to get together and buy stuff, and occasionally tell your customers when you come by, bring a toy so we can put that in the box as well. So if you are a business person in this community and are listening, going, oh, they're doing that again, oh, definitely want to get involved this time. How do they become part of the program?
They can reach out to either the chamber, or they can also go to the Marine Corps Base Camp Blah's Facebook or Instagram.
Oh, I was going to say, can I go on the base yet? It's almost time for me to be able to take a tour, right?
Right? As long as you're with me,
then I should be okay. Because otherwise, the last time I tried to get on an installation, somebody had a boot on my neck and an M16 at my forehead going, what are you doing here? And I thought to just kind of walk around and see what was going on. I'm kidding. That didn't happen to me, but I know the people that it did happen to. 22 after 9 o'clock in the morning. So you do have social media, Instagram, Facebook pages right now?
Yes, correct. If they search MCB, which is just short for Marine Corps Base, and then just Camp Blah's, they'll find our page from there.
Gotcha.
And then they could just shoot us a message, and then from there we can go ahead and make sure they have a drop box.
What are you looking for to fill these drop boxes with? What should people, as they go shopping this weekend, payday around the corner, what is it that you'd like to fill the boxes up with?
Yeah, you actually get a lot of people who ask that question. They're also under the impression that these toys have to become wrapped as well, a part of the campaign, which is actually not true at all. We're actually looking for new, unused, and unwrapped toys for any from newborns all the way up to 17 years old.
Okay, so the entire gamut of young people. Will you also be, is it just toys, or are there other things that you'd like to be able to put in there? I'm thinking of the rapid intensification of the number of foster children that we've got here on Guam, and I'm sure that you're working with all the right people for that. And in some cases, PlayStation would be nice, but how about a pair of socks, or new toothbrush, toothpaste, something to run my hair, cream, rinse, conditioner? Are those kinds of things welcome as well?
Well, whenever we do receive those types of things, we just make sure we give it to the Salvation Army. We're actually just looking for toys. And when you think of a child who is 14 years old and older, well, you're like, okay, well, they're not going to play with a toy. What should I get them?
iPhone.
Well,
Beyond the box, ask for Felice.
Yeah. But if you're shopping for a male, something athletic, some weights that he can have at home.
Okay.
Some, resistance bands, those are pretty good. Board games, things like that. If you're shopping for a female in that age group, you could give them art supplies. You could give them like a light up LED mirror to help them put their makeup on, jewelry boxes, things like that. So those are the types of things that you can give that are kind of like, oh, what's a good gift for someone in that age?
I did that once, and heavy concentration on toys that made noise. Because I think every parent should have that. You know, just what there's little ray guns that make noise like that, or recorders. Yeah, you get like a little plastic recorder or something like that.
Those are kind of scary.
Kids love those. Kids love those. And
they go off.
Mom and Dad likes those too, don't they? That's what I'm going to get Ruckus for Christmas. I'm going to get a drum set. Yeah, my very first drum set. All of those kinds of things. Try to put your head. Think about your own kids and some of the stuff that they enjoy or enjoyed when they were kids, and get a whole bunch of those kinds of things, toys or other. You know, for the older kids, I think that's a great idea. Is to think about the things that you might be able to get, like tennis racket would make a great gift for somebody. Set of golf clubs, because you're no good at it. Go ahead and move them into that direction. Is there a phone number where people can reach out to you guys at?
Certainly, you know, you can obviously call the chamber at 472-6311 or email us, or also tag us, or direct message us on any of our social media pages. So that's
all the simple ways to do that.
Yes.
And I'm fond of being able to say words like gunnery sergeant, and even though I've only a passing understanding of what that rank does in the United States Marine Corps. So, but I do know that there's a significant amount of management that goes into that. You're not just a sergeant; you're kind of in charge of things there.
Correct.
What do you do
as a gunnery sergeant? You know, when you join the military, you're assigned a job. So you could be a military working dog handler. My job is actually public affairs. So I started off as a combat correspondent. I was writing news stories for a news.
Did I ask you if you went to Denfos?
I did go to Denfos.
Okay, all right.
That's where we all go.
I wanted to go there very, very badly when I was about 17 or 18 years old, but unfortunately they were full or something like that, and I had lousy eyes, so I wasn't able to go off and enjoy that. Otherwise, I would have been a public affairs officer in a branch of the government. So we've got a vocation for you, and you do that?
Correct, and then you just progress through the ranks, and once you're a gunnery sergeant, you're just you're considered a subject matter expert in that field.
Okay.
So we are the ones who just supervise, we guide, lead, and mentor those junior Marines just to make sure that, you know, because we can't stay in the military forever. Eventually, we have to retire because we get too old.
No, you got to meet Bob Klitsky. He's once a Marine, always a Marine. And here's the anthem. That guy stands at attention, and it is a firm Marine attention that he stands at. He's never lost the gift, if you will. But I noticed that you've got, in addition to the ribbons, you've got a couple of those are marksman awards, aren't they?
Correct, yeah, shooting badges. So I have one for being on the rifle range and one for being on the pistol range.
Does that mean that you're any good at it?
Yeah.
With a title like gunnery sergeant, you would assume that you've got some marksmanship skills.
So these are actually both expert badges. So I'm an expert in both. And then this says I was awarded the expert 4 times. So
I need to take lessons.
Now, and I do recall the conversation from last year, and among the things that I remember is how driven this young Marine is. You don't like to be second place in anything.
I do not.
And will do whatever it takes to scratch your way to the top of whatever heap that it is that you're trying to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it's just understanding, okay, I have a deficiency in this. All right, let's fix it.
All right, so tennis. Because I want to take this back to tennis. Tennis will mess with your head.
It will.
Because there's so much going on. It is as mental a game as it is physical a game. Now, have you been doing this since you were a little kid, or did you just kind of fall into it?
I did it all 4 years of high school, and then I joined the Marine Corps, and I just didn't touch a tennis racket at all.
Right.
And just like many other people out there, COVID happened, and I started playing tennis again.
Cool.
And yeah, that's how I got back in.
Oh, as I was going to say, are you doing tournaments?
Yes, I actually played in the Chamorro Open. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then I was able to win the 3.0.
Oh wow!
For the men's singles.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That is that is a big deal. and so there are other. You've won in that category now, but isn't there an overall? Like God of tennis here on Guam that you've got to take down?
They have the Open.
You met Torgan.
It's just open to all skill levels, and that's the one where you have phenomenal players, and you have so many on Guam, especially the team that travels to Fiji and all the other islands and gets to play tennis.
Did the temperature here become an issue for you?
No.
It's hot on Guam.
It is so hot. I sweat so much. And now I get to burn double the calories with the same amount of effort. So
Again,
it's great.
tennis for life, as they say. I'm glad that you had a chance to come by the radio station. So get a hold of everybody, the usual suspects at the usual websites, and find out about getting a drop box for your business. Otherwise, I think we've covered just about everything. If there's you will see a drop box somewhere and wonder, what do I put in that? And the answers are pretty clear. Think about newborns all the way up to 17-year-olds and some of the things that they need to make their lives better, that much more entertaining, and then let the Marines do what the Marines do. When will they be distributed? And what's the method of that? How are you going to do that?
So we're going to distribute these toys through Catholic Social Services.
I know those guys.
And the Salvation Army, and that's going to occur on the 16th. But
if the Salvation Army and the Marines got into a fight, who would win?
I feel like the Salvation Army would have a lot more people.
It's unclear what battles they've fought, but from the booty I've seen in the store, they've clearly won many of them. So I'm just playing around. So we got Catholic Social Services. We've got the guys over at the Salvation Army. What about mayors? You guys working with mayors? I know that we talk to Jess Allig all the time, and I'm gonna make this about foster kids just one more time, because it used to be there was just a handful of them. Now they've got so many foster kids. ICE and COVID have really taken a toll on many families here on Guam.
So, Ray, what we do is we do work with very specialized organizations. But the reason why we capitalize on Salvation Army and Catholic Social Service is because we do have inquiries. So if they're out in the community and they're not needing any type of other services, if they're not part of, alley shelter or right, or yes, the foster folks, then they would naturally gravitate to either Catholic Social Service or Salvation.
Well, the idea is there's a bunch of systems of care. You're working with them already, and they will pipeline the toys where they need to go and to who they need to go to. And I think that might be the most important thing of all. What's the next big deal coming up for the chamber? You guys just celebrated the 98th birthday.
That's right. We celebrated our 98th birthday.
I'll be there for you on the 100th.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Yes, and we've got a board election coming up. So that's something that we're very excited about. We've got.
I gotta get my bill paid before I can. I have to be a member of Good Sound.
No, we'll talk about that. But you know a guy. But Joe Arnett is at the chamber office right now doing a tax seminar for small businesses, and we just got a whole bunch of things that are that we're doing just to make sure that our that we can meet the needs of the members and the private sector. We're advocating as we do. You see us with PAC, and
you got an important election coming up.
We do, and you see our chairman on the newspaper a couple of times.
Well, he was in today talking about, of all things, fentanyl.
Yes.
But if business leaders aren't more aware of what the pressures are in the community, they can't respond to them, and their families and customers are being affected by that. So I'm glad that Ed Antolon has taken an opportunity to be vocal on that, and I can hardly wait to hear what other topics he'll be vocal on. Hey, listen, it's always fun having you guys in the studio. Crazy fun seeing you. We'll get together again sometime soon.
Sure.
Anything else that you need, more airtime, PSAs or whatever for the Toys for Tots, write them up. Let me know. We'll stick them on. I got 3 radio stations, right?
So
can take care of all of that for you. 9:32, Ray Gibson Show. We'll take a quick break and come back with students and people from the University of Guam that are going to talk about trees. Yeah, that's next. Stay there.
Quality healthcare on Guam requires investments across the entire spectrum of healthcare services. The Camacho Ada gubernatorial team believes that creating a healthier community requires a holistic approach to healthcare. This involves preventive medicine, a sustainable public hospital, and a clean environment. Felix and Tony will take a practical approach to modernizing our aging healthcare infrastructure that accounts for the needs of our residents and the needs of our healthcare professionals.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Shop and Win is back at Micronesia Mall. beginning August 6th, shop and redeem receipts for a chance to win instant prizes from Burger King or Foot Locker, or receive a grand prize entry form for our first raffle drawing on November 12th for your chance to win a 2022 Toyota Corolla LE courtesy of Atkins Scroll Toyota. Plus, 10 lucky runners-up will receive a $250 gift certificate from Goodwin Travel and Tour for tickets for Philippine Airlines.
Shop more, win more.
Only at Micronesia Mall. Terms and conditions apply. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Studio time, 9:35. Ray Gibson Show. It's a Friday morning, no frowny face Friday. We got, what's that? Torgan heard me say, thanks for the mention. Going to Tokyo tomorrow for the Rakuten Open. Had to get a visa. I am vaxxed. If you'd have gone this time in a couple of weeks, but unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure the schedule would not permit it, but my understanding is on the 11th or so in Japan, they are going to lift all of the restrictions for incoming visitors to Japan. If you've got the 3 vaxes, congratulations, good for you. Or if you've got a negative PCR test within 72 hours of the trip, I'm told that will also get you into Japan. And you don't have to be on a tour, and they've lifted all of the caps, or they will be lifting all of the caps on the number of inbound visitors. They restricted it to a few thousand a day, but as I said, that has all changed, and I'm glad to see that that market is beginning to open up, because frankly, I'd like to go. All right, coming up, there's going to be a thing called Arbor Fest. You might have noticed something in a newspaper about this in the last couple of days, and I'm going, okay, what the heck is a Arbor Fest? 60 years old. Have we ever done one in the past? Has there ever been something like that?
Well, yes, there has been Arbor Day at your Department of Agriculture, but this is the first that we're celebrating as a festival, so hence the Arbor Fest. And so this one is brought to you by your Department of Agriculture and also UGC grant and other partners. There's up to 25 different vendors or tables that will be set up and activities on that day.
We'll go more on that in a second, but it says under guest, Teddy Lee Conception. And that's you. Teddy Lee's over here. All right, good. We'll turn your microphone off so everybody can hear. And that must be PJ St. Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you in the studio as well. And I'm embarrassed. I haven't seen you since before COVID, for God's sakes. And all I know is you're related to Stasha.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Godmother to my child.
There we go. It's good to have you. And tell everybody what your name is.
Yes, I'm Odessa St. Nicholas.
That's it, Odessa. See, I should know. You know why? Because Odessa is the name of a city in Ukraine.
Yes, it's very popular now.
Yeah, you hear a lot about it now.
Yes, but I'm lucky my parents spelt it different.
Okay. Well, it's still in all. There's an easy way to remember that name now. Anyway, great that. So the Arbor Fest deal is going on. But let me back up to even the concept of Arbor Day. I'm just a kid from Guam. We didn't do a whole lot of that kind of thing when I was growing up. I appreciate trees, and I appreciate plants that provide shade and cover and food for myself, but
no, that's what we're here for. Is we want to educate the community more about how important trees are for us, for our island, for our oceans, for everybody.
Tell everybody to stop cutting it down.
I know.
There's every once in a while there will be a tree out there, and I think the most recent one was they had a tree over by Andrew Safe and Lock. And they pulled the tree down. And this thing looked like it had been there since easily since the 1950s. Yeah. And I didn't know that whether it was sick or whether somebody just decided that they didn't want to rake up from the leaves anymore.
Have you noticed if there was any flooding after rainy days after the tree?
You know, I don't know. I have not noticed that, but there is a consequence now.
Yes.
That's one of the things that will happen.
It will happen if you remove a big tree or when rainy season hits or rains, you're definitely going to see the effects after that. PJ is really good at explaining all of that. He's the brains
What's
behind
the
all of
science
this.
on that, PJ?
Well, you know, you just don't really take into account how much water that tree takes up throughout the year. So, you know, you're talking about hundreds or thousands of gallons throughout the whole rainy season.
Really?
And
they get soaked up by the roots of the tree, going to the leaves, all of that, the circle of life.
Yep.
And so when you remove the tree, there's nothing to absorb that water. And in some cases, we get inundated around here with the heavier rains.
Yeah,
and doesn't go anywhere.
Sometimes like that, and then also like if they pull the trunk, then now the way that the land's made up, it's sunken in that area, so it just creates a bowl, pretty much.
A new sink.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So the theme for this is ridge to reef. So let's talk about that as well and make the connection. I think I understand it, but make the connection between healthy forests inland and a healthy reef.
Yeah, so that's where we get in with forestry, but then we also have Teddy here with our Sea Grant to explain because it's connected trees to those.
So for us,
By the way, just for those of you looking for something to volunteer in, the Sea Grant people, they're all hot. The women in the Sea Grant program, I know a few of them, and just really, really terrific people, fun to hang out with, and fun to goof, and obviously put some environmental work in, right?
Yes, that's true. So yeah, we're all healthy. We all like to be out there in the sun, in the water, and the trees. So
Vitamin D.
That's life on Guam.
So
it
for
sounds
me,
like my weekend plan.
University of Guam Sea Grant, we have this initiative called the Guam Restoration of Watersheds Initiative, also known as the GROW Initiative, where we do almost the exact same thing as the Department of Ag Forestry, just in a different watershed. Together, so recently we've just been doing a lot more together. So we'll go to their watershed, they'll help at our watershed. That way we kind of see the relationship and how we can assist each other, where we can actually help out or where we can use the help, you know what I mean? So we're just strengthening our relationship, and this is one way to show and celebrate what's all going on with their department, ours, and all the other stakeholders, agencies, and how the community can partake.
So as an example of a watershed, tell me someplace where I might have hiked through or driven through.
Every area you are on, every area on land you're on is a watershed. So basically, a watershed is the drainage area between two ridge lines that leads to a body of water. In our case, it's the ocean. So hence, Sea Grant, we're focused on coastal resources. And going back to what you said earlier, everything that happens to our land will happen to our sea.
Well, there's obvious connections, and so among the points that I will make about that obvious connection is it's vital that we have good grasses and good savanna lands out there and healthy forests, because that holds the soil to the trees and the trees to the ground. It anchors everything. It allows the water to wash through there and get itself clean. We don't want the dirt leaving where the roots are and finding its way out to the ocean. One of the worst things that I've ever seen in my life, and this will happen down at Seti and Celebes every once in a while after heavy rains, and after a lot of guys and ungulates have done what they do up at these watershed locations. All of a sudden, you see this red dirt that washes into the bay, and you go, "Where did that come from?" And I go, "You're standing on it. It was there, and then it rained, and now it's down there." So and that's a fairly healthy area in terms of foliage when you stop and think about it. So you can imagine what more could be done if there was a part of a plan with Sea Grant and forestry to reinforce that.
Yeah, and so like going back to the purpose and what is really happening without any trees, we're talking about our mountainsides or our hillsides, and without any trees, there's just so much speed and force with the thousands of gallons of water that comes through those areas. So, but with trees, that force slows down and less erosion happens, right? Less erosion happens because it slows down the speed, but also at the same time as it goes down, healthy soils with trees also take in that soils. Without it, it's just a slide for all of this water to go down, collect soil, land on your land on our reefs.
Oh, bacteria. Yeah.
Yeah, land on our reefs, and then kind of choke out the reefs
and chase the fish away.
Well, I mean, they realize how the ecosystem works around here, and a lot of people they see what's in front of them when they're at the beach, but might not necessarily know what's going on, at higher altitudes. And I appreciate that scenario that you just discussed with using the velocity of the water. You might not think about it, but yeah, I mean, if you're over on a ridge that's at a certain angle and it has been raining there all day and all night, yeah, it will make its way into the rivers and then into the ocean a whole lot faster. Yeah. I'd also mention ungulates, and I know this is another big deal over at agriculture.
Those hooved animals.
Yes, well, they've announced today in a couple of the newspapers. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to yep, Jane Dia is the name. The government of Guam and the Division of Aquatic and Wildlife Resources announced the Guam Hunter Education Program's second annual Field to Fork Binadu Hunt. So, the last time we had Jane in here, we were talking about the pig derby.
Well, she will be there.
She's going to be there?
And then we have a hunter's education where they'll be practicing and, what is it, targets.
It's a shoot, don't shoot scenario.
Yeah.
Safety.
Oh, yeah, whatever, safety. yeah. That's for you guys to worry about. So, can I bring my gun? Is that what you're saying? No. Probably no on the gun. So, getting back to the actual event. So, obviously a little bit of education here on the radio, but an opportunity for a whole lot more education on the ground. It's going to be at Pirates Cove?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
We're taking over.
They have chicken wings and cold beer and burgers there.
And specials,
Terrible.
Especially for us.
All right, Jeff from Pirates Cove looking forward, I'm sure, to that. I think he's got a couple of big events going on. One of them, doesn't Kenley and Guerrero have a thing going on there Sunday?
Yeah,
I think it's Sunday Fun Day. Yeah, that doesn't sound right? Is it Kenley and Guerrero and Sunday Fun Day? No, just but he'll find, I'm sure, a way to get it done. Hold on. Let me see if I get the invitational information from 10 until 3, Pirates Cove tomorrow. Learn about how trees protect our shores and reefs. Okay, we did taking all of that.
Yeah.
All kinds of displays, native tree garden. Okay, this is the part where I ask, do I get a free plant?
We're giving away.
Yes. We got at least for our forestry department or our forestry division, we're giving about around 150 seedlings, native trees, and then also some calamansi if you're interested in getting some calamansi.
But is it the calamansi with thorns? Because there's a calamansi that doesn't have thorns.
Yes, I believe it might have some thorns.
50-50?
Yeah.
50-50 chance. You're just going to have to find out. Okay, so no, just the free trees. People will show up for that and get the education at the same time, but that's a big deal. Educational booths. There's a surf demo.
Yes.
There's no surf.
So
is there?
There is not surf at Jeff's Pirates Cove, but we have actually partnered up with Lotus Surf Shop and Hot Mothers Club. So long story short, they had an event planned out that day before we actually met. So when we saw their mission, ocean conservation with those two, it's like, oh, come on, let's do this together.
I told you the Sea Grant people were hot.
So, we are actually having a mini car show. How we're going to show people how to minimize their carbon footprint. That's a little niche there. And then Lotus Surf Shop will also be posted up at 1 o'clock, or the activities start Family Day at Talafofo Bay with Lotus Surf Shop. So people who come down to Arborfest get a stamp, go check them out. They're like, hey, you came to the Arborfest? Okay, and then they'll get some type of...
Nice connection, though.
Yes.
Right. And okay, so that's how we're going to get they're going to get the surf thing in. So we'll go by the bay, and there is still surfing at the bay. Not as much as there was when I was younger. When I was a younger kid, before all of the erosion that happened out there and the storms that came through and kind of wiped out the ridge and the beach front that they used to have there. But still, in all, it's a worthwhile place to go. Still a good place to go and just kind of hang out and watch the passing parade of people. So like 2 locations there. So go to Pirates Cove, get your stamp, and then go to the bay.
At 1 o'clock. Yes,
at 1 o'clock, okay. Gotcha. And then
so sign
we need
in.
Lots of pictures. Send me lots of pictures.
Yes. Okay, so we actually have QR codes when you come in. So the parking will be, so there's a north gate or north area, right when you're coming from the Jonya area and you enter Jeff's, his old facility. On the left, you'll see his sign. And you'll see our banners actually posted up on that. So there's a parking inside the tree line that maybe not so many people know, but you'll see the signs, and then there'll be people holding QR codes. So you can scan the QR code, park. fill out your the sign-in sheet,
Right.
and then just show proof to the people at the sign-in table, and then you're automatically entered into the raffle.
Yeah,
But
it's a
you'll
free
either-
event.
What am I
It's a
going to
free
win?
event.
What
Yeah.
do I
a
win?
tree, possibly. There's a lot of different prizes, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give it.
Well, so just go and find out. It ain't going to cost you anything except the gas to get down there. Gas $4.89 a gallon these days, so it does not feel as far away as it's going to. Now, I see that you guys are involved forestry here and Sea Grant, and thanks very much for mentioning Linda's outfit and those guys over at Lotus. But is there anybody else that need to be recognized for coming out and helping put this together? Pirates Cove, obviously, as the host.
So many. Everybody matters in this particular situation of trees and natural resources
Mhm.
because it's all around us and everybody is indulged in all of this natural resource that we have. So
There's 25,
There's a lot to
up
mention.
25 different people participating in this that we actually needed to build a map to kind of navigate where everything is. So
Oh,
there's,
that's going to be rich.
It is. It's
Mhm.
gonna, from the moment you walk in through our north entrance all the way down to the south where we have the mini cars, but don't forget all of the activities.
The
that's going
mini,
on
no, when he says
in
mini cars, we're not talking about RC cars. These are the key
No.
cars, right?
These are the
Japanese.
vans and trucks,
Mhm.
and so they're all tricked out and like cute.
Yeah,
and sweet, and supposed to be
yeah.
all fun.
I
And
want-
only 3-cylinder and good for our.
Yeah, I
environment.
want the one that like Frank the Crank has. He's got this van. Did you see the video of his? He did a video. It's like one of
Yeah,
those
I
things.
saw it.
Didn't know it was
Sandbar.
in there, but it's you can do some origami with the chairs, and basically the thing turns into a bed. And I'm going, okay, that's the van that I want there. And I don't know.
I know. Hopefully it's there at the show.
Oh, it might be. Well, dude, good to have. Hey, listen, you're good to have Frank and his wife behind you. Frank and Sarah behind you on this stuff because they're like super into the community. But I think they're up in Saipan, right?
Well, Frank, if you're here on Guam,
you can
just
call it
Pirates
in.
Cove,
Bring that
October
van down to the
tomorrow.
show.
Just send
know my
somebody,
number.
drop the thing off, and I want to say Brogy, not to mix up subjects too much, but I just was on Instagram a little bit ago. Why I'm looking at Instagram when it's supposed to be on the radio? Shh! Don't judge me. But I follow Brogy, and she had posted something up in somebody's backyard up in Saipan. So I think they've got some kind of crazy event that's going to be taking place up there. All right. Anything else you guys got coming up in the near future? I mean, it's coming up in the holidays. You got
Sea Grant, we also have an outplanting in the morning from 8 a.m. So we're done, but we've actually prepared the holes already. So it's not going to be as laborious as people think. It's more like celebration. We're literally going to launch this Arbor Month with Arbor Fest and our outplanting. So trees in the ground makes the most sense if
Of
we're going
course.
to kick off Arbor Month.
So there's it's always in my head when we start talking about the environment and different pressures that we might feel in the environment and recently people were talking about the Nelsoni tree. And so I'm kind of curious as to whether or not forestry's got any access to those Nelsonis. I know that the guys over at in the Navy, as part of their work on the environment, have done everything that they can to make sure that the tree that they know of is in good shape. But I understand that they've also been creating seedlings from those. And it would be awesome if we had one of those Nelsoni Tree of Lives in like every village on Guam.
Yes, well, we have a lot of great trees too, but I'm sure we're working on. We have so many different natives that are there. And,
Yes. Yeah, we have a ton of natives. With the Nelsonii tree, pretty much the federal government, since it's on federal land, they take care of it. They have federal contracts that also take care of it.
Let's go fly up to Rhoda. Because my understanding is that, like, here on Guam, maybe not the best habitat in the world for it, but in Rhoda, they're supposed to be all over the place.
Well, they have quite a few, but it's still in the sense like a listed or endangered species. Yeah, definitely.
Let's go plant some more of those. I mean, do they? I mean,
Definitely.
I've only ever seen pictures of the tree outside of it being a tree. Is there fruit that comes off of it, or does it give you you're sitting in the shade of it and it's 50 degrees colder? I mean, what is the other benefit of that tree?
It's just a legacy tree. It's really a legacy tree. It's an overstory tree. That's in a healthy jungle. Overstory trees. I consider them either guild trees or mother trees because they provide the shade for our understory trees and things like that. It's just where it's at right now is a very disturbed land.
Well,
So,
you can actually learn a little bit more about that because at the event we're going to have a reading tree, and Olympia Terrell will be actually reading a story about the mother tree.
Wicked.
book.
Okay. All right. I'm reminded now, if you go to Southern Mountain Gear, there's a couple of books there, and it seems to me this crowd ought to be crazy about them. One of them is a hiking book with all the different trails and everything, the easy ones that are kind of marked off. And then there's another book that they have. It's also wire bound, and I want to say it's Leaves and Trees, I think might be the name of it. Trees and Shrubs. There it is.
Trees and Shrubs of the Marianas, or Trees and Shrubs of Guam. We have, there's going to be a few story readings. That's part of the event.
And UG Press will be there as well with their publication. So I'm not sure if that's on their list, but
the books just like that.
They are, yeah.
Well, a buddy of mine bought one over the weekend. He's going to be doing a lot of traveling in the next little bit, and wanted that was going to be his airplane reading material because he wanted to be able to see. Because we're both hikers. We're all hikers,
Celebrating
right?
Arbor Month.
Yes. And so it's one of those things. It's like you're in the boondocks, and you see things. You go, what kind of tree is that? And born and raised on Guam, I can name a few of the trees that are in there. But every once in a while, I'll look at something going, man, it's familiar. I should know what this is. And
that's
come
perfect.
to the event because we're going to have the native garden, and we're actually going to be doing identification of our native trees, and so that is really important.
And then one of you guys,
I'll be there.
Then one of you guys can tell me where it is and which jungles, paths, and what rivers I need to be on so I can find good beetle nut. Most of the time when I'm hiking, I'm looking around going, oh, there's beetle nut. I'm looking at the tree and I grab some, and it's almost always tsunga. And so the question that I have is, where can I find ugam in the wild? It's got to be out there, right?
I know. It's kind of like you said, it's kind of rare. So we'll talk later.
Well, if you see anything in there, because I'm kind of dry right now, bro. I'm chewing shakes. And then the other one is Doni Sali. Which is the one that is spread in the jungle by the bird, by the sali. So
we need more birds.
We need more. Oh yeah, definitely. But
Olympia would be all over this if she was here.
Yeah. Well, next time.
Nonstop.
Well, you guys have got other things that are going to be coming up soon, right?
Yeah. So one of
in.
the things that I wanted to bring up, since it is Arbor Month, I started Forestry started a native tree garden at Ansalan Middle School earlier this year.
Oh, wow.
So throughout the month, I've got a few schools lined up to start more native tree gardens, and then we're just going to keep on hitting the ground running with these native tree gardens made to educate the kids, but also create an outdoor classroom type of feel for when they want to just switch up and just go outside and whether it's science or reading or math or whatever.
Yeah, the Arborfest is really just starting out this whole month. This month is very busy for us, and including we're going to end the month with our trick or trees planting. And so if you come out in costume, you can.
Didn't somebody just plant about 1,000 trees?
We did.
That was you guys. Okay.
Yes.
Well, not 1,000, 1,400.
Okay, so more than 1,000, almost 2,000.
6,000.
The one before that, we planted 2,000.
Yeah.
So throughout this year, on forestry side, we planted over 6,000, and together we probably with Sea Grant probably hitting around.
We're over 10 maybe. We're already at 10 probably.
Wow.
Yeah. So forestry, every year we plant about 10,000 trees. Man, some of our crew that have been here for over 20 years, I mean, they're averaging 10 to 15,000 a year. These guys have planted possibly up to 100,000 plants.
Well, these are if you're going to do it, these are good times to do it. We haven't had a major storm in a long time, so you've got these plants. They go into the ground, and they're likely to stay there and grow into much more mature, longer-lasting trees as a result of the decent weather that we've been having lately.
Yeah, we're super active at rainy season, so that's why we go. We have like maybe 6 more plantings or 3 more plantings coming up. We've been on the road, so make sure you follow us on our social media because we'll announce when we'll be doing different plantings.
Come on, you're welcome to send me anything anytime, and I might know a couple of people that if they aren't already hiking that weekend might want to go out there and actually help out. There are places that I like. If Cross Island Road has got that one area, you kind of go up the hill.
I gotta tell you,
and those were all planted years ago.
Our forestry department, our forestry division, it was an initiative back in either late 80s 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
That area that you see, like in the entrance of the Tarzan Falls hike, that was bare land. Just like the badlands that you see all around it. And now it's just a really healthy forest. And we use these acacia trees that we've imported because they're able to thrive in these badlands. Our native trees cannot, there's a few, but it's pretty hard for any native tree to survive or even thrive in there. So what they did was they planted these trees, these acacia trees, and then we thinned them out. And then when when the soil is ready for a forest to come in, that acacia is created, and then we plant the natives in. So it's just
okay. So this is the 5-year plan stuff, to be sure.
Oh man,
9:50. I wish I had more time, but we got play a couple of commercials and get ready for Fox News. Pirates Cove tomorrow. What time we start?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay, make it a plan to be there. Bring some folding money with you. No doubt there's going to be one or two things that you're going to want to buy, including food and chicken wings and beer and cheeseburgers over at Jeff and that place. It's about a minute away from 10 o'clock in the morning. Where KUSG Agutnia 93.3 is the point. Joe, take us to the news.
Attention contractors and future homeowners. Come and network with Guam's construction industry at the 2022 GCA Construction Industry Trade Fair and Expo, happening September 29th and 30th at the FD Phoenix Center in Manilao. Doors open from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. on both days, and admission is free. With over 50 exhibitors, your time will be well spent looking at new products and services, whether you're a contractor or future homeowner. For more information, contact GCA at 671-647-4840.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of